The Proto-Semitic Allah further down tells us was a black god represented by a black bull whose hide denoted his black skin.
Here's the picture that he showed on the screen. It's a deity El, the god El. Pay attention to the crown or the headdress, if you will. This is a picture from the front of the same statue, a little closer, and a little bit from the side here. Now, this headdress is actually the Atef crown. If you go on Webster's online dictionary, that's what it says. Atef is the specific feathered white crown of the Egyptian deity Osiris. It combines the head jet, the crown of Upper Egypt, with red ostrich feather for the Osiris cult. The Atef crown identifies Osiris in ancient Egyptian painting. If you go to Webster's dictionary, Merriam-Webster, it says Atef, hold on, a tall crown with a long feather on each side, shown in the art of ancient Upper Egypt as worn by Osiris. Okay? Here you can see Osar or Osiris with the Atef crown. This is from the papyrus of Nebket. It's actually in the Louvre Museum, and you can see me filming that papyrus on the video entitled Reality Check. Why black people ain't going nowhere, but you might as well put Afro Style Reality Check, it's gonna come up. And in here, it's also from the Louvre Museum. You have Osiris in the middle with the Atef crown, and the description for it, if you go on the website of the Louvre Museum and you type Royal and Divine Triad, you can do a search and you will see they mention that he is actually wearing the Atef crown. Now finally, you can compare the crowns. Okay, first you have the god of the Arabs Negroes, which first is El, but somehow some way becomes Allah, but that's up to y'all, that's up to the doctor. And then you have the one that I showed you, Osiris. Then again from the front compared with another statue of Osiris, and then finally the same statue from another angle.
Biblical King's Seal discovered in dump site. This is the royal seal of the King Hezekiah, and here we have an Ankh. And finally, last but not least, you need to see it to believe it. The God of the Bible, El, slept in his own dung and urine. This is Ugaritic Narrative Poetry, page 195. And we also have this book here, the Tazaryach in the Prophetic Literature, where it clearly says that El floundered in his own feces and urine.
So Shabazz was not permitted to stay in that area, so he took his family into the jungle of East Asia, which we now call Africa, to make a people close to nature. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, this is the origin of kinky hair, because we didn't have kinky hair prior to that. The hair on our head was like the hair on our eyebrows. The hair on your eyebrows straight, the hair on your head is not the same as the hair on your eyebrow. But the hair of every other people is the same as their eyebrow. Your eyebrow straight, your hair something different. Wouldn't you like the hair on your head to be as straight as the hair on your eyebrow? That's why you so busy frying it. That's why you so busy pulling it. Because your nature tells you that the kink I mean, you know, with I'm black and I'm proud, we got to learn to be proud of kinks. Because most of your family of other black people on the earth, jet black. They didn't have no broad nose and thick lips and kinky hair. They were dark-skinned people, jet black. But they had straight hair, a thinner lip, a thinner nose. But we are marked as a different kind of black person. And we were rejected and despised, not only from the circle of the gods, but we were despised and rejected by all the other dark people of the earth. This is why today black people with kinky hair and broad nose and thick lips are rejected in every society. I want you to hear me well tonight. Yes, sir. Why are we rejected? Because the essence of beauty is in obedience and submission to God. And the essence of ugliness is when you rebel against God. And when you rebel against God, in your rebellion, you are marked with a certain mark of your rebellion, which is the disfigurement of your internal self, which manifests in the disfigurement of your external self. And this is why when you look at our people, wherever we are found on the earth, you find us either disfiguring ourselves physically because we are disfigured on the inside because of rebellion.
We got to get back to that. We got to find another day for this fish conversation. You know what I'm saying? Y'all not getting away with the big fish.
We go to something else.
Y'all not going to get away with that.
Let me read this. There's an entity.
Y'all almost had me too. Y'all should have never read that fish verse.
You won't get it.
I was about to convert.
Think too much. All right?
I was about to convert into the fish.
Well, if the Lord wants you, wait a minute.
The Lord was with me up until the point.
Let me check to see if you can hear me. I shared the link. Somebody asked what's the link. Yeah, you can hear me. And of course, you know, I was put on timeout by some moderator. It has to be the red hair OnlyFans Tamika, who publicly on her own Facebook put out that OnlyFans on the computer, OnlyFans on the computer screen, along with a smartphone on the tripod, and she wrote, "I'm tired of being poor." And that's the lady who is a moderator on all those so-called conscious community channels. But you know, shout out to Sanetta. Sanetta actually talked about Nasi Yashuvel being a pedophile. Who's gonna say, Sanetta, you talk about people? Those are talking points. How are you, brothers and sisters? The chat is open to everybody. So if anybody wants that smoke. Now, Sanetta said that he's going to ask the Captain Tazaryach if he wants that debate. We'll see what's up, you know. I think he's going to grandstand. He's going to act like, you know, he's a higher and he doesn't have time for this, you know. So we'll see. Now, Ankh and Reggie, they ran, you know, as usual, you know, they're doing like track field. So Reggie was capping for Garfield Reed. Reggie was trying to portray South Sudan said he as a liar, and that's wrong. That's wrong, you know. So I don't know what Sana is doing. I think he has a music. Yeah, he has a music. He's gonna make his closing remarks, I presume. Now, I'm still on timeout. I cannot post, you know, and you know, I don't know, Sanada. You know, let's see the number. Mute my mic on. Okay, his live stream has ended. Oh yeah, link to the panel. I'm gonna put the link. Hold on, I just want to leave a comment on that video. Man, Ankh and Reggie, man, they tried hard, man. They tried hard, man. They tried hard, man, but you know, it fails every time. You gotta stand on truth, man. So yeah, I've shared the link. So and put the link so people can get on the panel. Man, it's sad to see some of your elders falling bad. Now, where's okay, link to get on the panel. I've shared the link to get on the panel. Actually, I'm gonna pin it so it remains at the top. All right. Now, Sanetta talked about Nasi Yashuvel. He's a pedophile. I mean, them every day, every day, we have a new Hebrew Israelite pedophile. I mean, you know, it's been like that. Oh man, so many secrets back in the days. It's a new day now. It's a new day now. Oh my goodness. Oh, we have Smash Rockwell in the place to be. We have Amir Carr, who wrote Chaka, keep exposing these hypocrites, and he is from the Netherlands, just like V. Bennett. We have that Master P. Shaka, you didn't hold any punches. Respect, brother. We have Silent K, we have Men to Son. It is what it is, man. Now, there's one thing important that I want to do now. Audio? There's no audio? You cannot hear me? You don't hear me now? Hold on. 1 2 1 2. 1 2 1 2. Yeah, I hear myself. Oh, here's VBNet. Hotep Sen, feel free to speak, brother.
Hotep, good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, Hey man, I just got lucky and just happened to wake up and start orientating myself. And I looked at my phone and I was like, okay, Sonetta's on here. Let me see what's going on. And boom, you was there, bro. You was there. Listen, if you take this as anything else, but you've been banging on the right spot, then I don't see how you can miss it, man. You've been banging exactly right in the center, and this is their admission. Somehow it's an admission. And I agree with you. Sonetta is running the channel. It's his job to spark any type of debate, any type of conversation, to ask any type of question, to make any type of thing that makes the channel work. But that's not an excuse for Reggie and That's not an excuse for anybody else. Nobody else has that excuse. So my thoughts is that they feel you, they hear you, and it's almost like a little olive branch or something, if you want to take it as that. But I'm like, that's a integrity thing. The point is the issue. The point is not to sell and get cash apps. The point is not to laugh and be joking about these matters. How you going to tell somebody go back to Africa and think it's a joke? It's not a joke. It's never a joke. Once you start saying words like that, you have now entered into another realm of division, which all our people suffer from. So those comments feed the division, no matter who you are. They just wrong. You see? But I'm going to go back to my thing again. New York is an immigrant city. New York was founded on immigrants. So I'm saying, if you're from New York, you know what I'm saying? If you're from New York, you might want to at least show your lineage, because how do we know who you is? How will we know? We don't know, man. I know plenty of brothers from Jamaica, plenty of brothers from Trinidad, plenty of brothers from the UK, plenty of brothers from everywhere in the world. They live in the United States of America. They live in New York. After 10 years, they walk and talk like us. So what's the point? You know, it's like when you're in New York and you enter that realm, you really got to show and prove. So I'm saying to them, start showing and proving when you use that language. That's all I'm saying, bro. But you got them. Keep on banging.
Man, Reggie, I think is gonna understand this stuff that works with the neophytes. It cannot work with me. But Reggie, if you hear this, you're welcome. Ankh, if you hear this, you're welcome. These guys wouldn't let me speak, and I mean the behavior, man. But it's all good, man. You know, they were contaminated by Garfield, Reed, by Trackfield, and you know, Reggie always trying to put salt on Sarasut and said his name, you know, and he was like Sarasut and said he lied. So I brought up Garfield about the degree, the fake degree, you know. I mean, dang, man. But we didn't hear one single we didn't hear one single criticism from Ankh or Reggie regarding those child molesters. You know what I'm saying? But right now, you know what I'm trying to do right now. I'm trying to download that video real quick before it disappears.
Absolutely.
So I'm trying to download it real quick. You know what I'm saying? And I don't like what he's doing right now. You know,
yo, they heard your video. They was watching the video and they've admitted it, and now they've responded in words, in their own words. I mean, what better can you ask for?
Yeah. I couldn't get that 3-minute Farrakhan video, but you know, hey, shout out to Sonetta. He cannot do it all by himself. And when he said nobody's listening to Farrakhan here, I was like, okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Now, let me just say this, brother V Bennett, before I go to all the comments. Where is it? Where is it? There it is. That guy here, Black to Egypt TV, wrote, tell us something we don't know. I blocked the dude and now I'm going to delete his comments. I don't have time for that. This dude doesn't have any criticism for pedophiles or rapists, and that's the best he can come up with. You can spot a hater a mile away. I don't have time for stuff like that, man. You know, go with Trackfield and the Dagger Squad. Man, please. Put some respect on my name. Now,
yo, Shaka, just to remind people, man, you were here before any of these YouTube channels blew up. You know, they're pretending again, or I don't know if it's on purpose, everybody, but look, let's just be real. Sonetta know who you is from way back. He may not have known you from the street, but he know you from those internet streets from way, way back. And we talking decades. So over a decade. What was it, 2007? I think I came on to you and said something like that and seen this whole dialogue, seen y'all debating.
I've been online since 2004. It's been 18 years.
That's what I'm saying.
2 months, it will be 19 years.
Look, anybody insinuating that they do not know Shaka and Dugu Kemet is a flat out faker. Fake. And here's the thing. Do you want to be part of a community where people see the persons that send them cash apps as just so stupid that they would insinuate things like that? I mean, that's just ridiculous, man. I mean, and then we got to ask ourselves, what type of business is this? What type of business is it? When you want to do good business, it has integrity with it, you know, and things like this matter. So I would just say, again, I'm not talking about Sarnetta because having a channel means chaos at times. You inviting chaos. So that's what that channel means, and other channels too. That's what CNN is. You hear debates, Republicans saying all types of crazy stuff, and you hear it from all types, you know. But if you're not running that, if you're not Sarnetta, those excuses don't work for you. So you can speak out against anything you want. But the difference is that you need to mean what you say 100%. You need to take a side. Sarnetta, if you run in the channel, then you invite people because you want to give them at least a fair chance. So you promise them that. So that's the issue there. But nobody else got that excuse. You see what I mean? On the channel. So why, like you said, why don't they talk about the pedophiles? Why don't they talk about the rapists? Especially if they roam in the same streets their kids are roaming. What sense do that make?
Bennett, I want you to know that I'm listening to you. I'm really trying to download that video because, you know, there's jewels in that video.
Yeah,
but,
no, I got you, bro.
Yeah.
I got you. I know exactly what you're saying.
Because, at one point, oh, you're talking about people. When Sarnetta said that Nazi was a pedophile, wasn't he talking about people? This is a talking point.
Oh, come on.
You know how they try to put Sarnetta
How you run a
me.
channel? How you run a channel without talking about people? And Sarnetta's channel would not exist if you didn't talk about people. I mean, the only difference is it personal or not, and what you describe it. But the whole thing is that talking about pedophiles in your community, that's not talking about people.
Personal. That's not private life. That's not intimate life. I mean, they were charged for that. You know, it's a matter of public record. Reggie pulled up a live stream. I did censorship when he censored me. And it's so funny. I said, man, Sarnetta came. You know, I mean, he's trying too hard, man. Sarnetta came on that same live stream that he pulled up. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, everybody could see what they were doing. But now, anybody that's here in the chat is open to everybody now. And you have the link to get on the panel, because I read a few comments of some hooker cheerleaders. Now, come on here now, Twitter fingers. Come on here now. Man, I see some people in the chat. They're real comfortable in the chat. Get on the panel now. Get on the panel now.
Oh, man. They're not getting on the panel because
they're not getting on the panel. It's cheerleader groupies. They're simping for that Tamika only fan red hair lady. Please. The lady put that on her own Facebook. I made a live stream about this, man. Man, please come on now. Come on now. Call everybody, man. Come get this work, man. I'll give you everybody a piece of the action for free. For free. And consider yourself lucky, because usually the chat is not open to everybody. Twitter finger dudes. We have rapists and pedophiles. I saw a dude. I wanted to address that. I was waiting to speak. He wrote, why does he want to know her age? But I'm glad Reggie said that she was underage, that she was a minor. So that's established. You know, the dude is, and his name, he sounded like he looked kind of, maybe he was a Hebrew Israelite name. He's like, why do I want her to know her age? Man, how do you get down? I wish you would come here. I wish those people would come live on air, on the platform, because here the requirement is that you need a webcam if you want to get on the panel. So come show us your face and tell us how you don't have a problem with people having sex with 9-year-old girls as long as they have the period. Go ahead, V. Bennett.
No, it's like you said, let's document it. Let's document your thoughts and your words and your views openly, right? That's what it's about. And what you know is that anybody that's phony, right? Anybody that's up to some trickery, anybody that's up to some dirt, pretty much ain't going to want to expose themselves on camera and make those arguments, right? Because it's called standing on your word. These people don't stand on their word. You know, I'd rather have a person that makes bad choices stand on their word than a person that don't stand for nothing. And a lot of these people won't come on camera because they don't stand for anything. That's just all it is. It's easy to see. And come and debate. Just come and debate. Come and show yourself. That's all it takes. I mean, but they won't, Shaga.
Man. I was telling Unc, look, man, Unc, come talk with me. Come on my platform. I said, no, I'm not going to your platform. I said, I'll come to your platform. I said, no. I said, man, you just want to complain. And then I said, I don't know. Sanetta is cool with that. Sanetta says, no, I'm not cool with that. And Unc still go on. Still go on. Man, I got love for you, man, but, come on, man. You can do better than this.
Unc, somebody should tell Unc, go back to Baltimore. I mean, isn't that, if we break it down, what he's saying to the micro level, the macro might be go back to Africa. Well, let's break that statement down to the micro. Go back to Baltimore.
But if you've been at
Atlanta folks should say, go back to Baltimore. You ain't the same. You don't know what it's like down here in this country part. Boy, that's what they say, and plenty of people say that. LA should say, get your ass back to Baltimore. You don't know what it's like in LA. You know what I'm saying? But it's ridiculous because we all got family and all travel to these places and all got girlfriends, all got buddies from all these places. If you've been anywhere outside of your own neighborhood, you know this. So it's not about where you're from. It's about where you at and your arguments, what you bring to the table, So when have we ever, where's the Black community not been full with immigrants? You know what I'm saying?
V. Bennett,
in Harlem.
Unc knows he was wrong about this. That's why he was trying to make a breakdown to justify it. He might say my bad later on, or he might not, but he knows very well it was wrong for saying that. You know what I'm saying? He's just trying to make some justification for it. You know what? I want to download that video. The website that I use normally is not working now, which is annoying to me because I don't want that video to be removed.
Use 4X. Use 4X. 4X downloader. Yeah, man.
4X
download it. Download from YouTube.
Then people are gonna say, "Oh no, I didn't say it. I don't remember." I know how to get.
Yeah, you're right. Give me 2 seconds. Maybe I'll try to do it too. Give me 2 minutes. Please. I'll be right back.
Yeah. Keep the comments going. I will go through the comments. I just want to download that video. Sanetta said live on air that Nasi Yashuva is a pedophile. I didn't say. Oh, you talk about everybody. That's the talking point, man. Unc and Reggie tried too hard, man. They tried too hard. So here the quality will be low, but I'd rather have a low quality than nothing at all. So is it working here? Oh yes, so no, the quality is low though. So no, it's not working. Let me try again. People tell me, oh, you shouldn't talk about people. They talk about people, everybody. Those weak talking points, man. For real, man. Community is uncomfortable now. Well, you can't talk about rapists and pedophiles. It's more important. How about we debate the two cradle theory? Now Unc is trying to act like Sekou is pseudo for talking about the two cradle theory. Like that's the reason why he told Sekou to go back to Africa. Please. Unc disrespected Sekou because Sekou agrees with Jabari. Reggie disrespected Sekou because Sekou agrees with Jabari. Period. That's it. And Reggie has already admitted that live on air. Those guys just want to talk about what they want to talk about. If you talk about something that they don't want to talk about, then they have an issue at that. They take issue at that, I went through the group effort 10 years ago. Those guys, they went against me. They made me lose several channels, lose thousands of subscribers. I know how to get down. I know exactly how to get down. And they tried it with Sekou. It didn't work because the community stood by Sekou. And now they're butthurt. And now they're trying to look for every talking points. Please send me, hold on. Please send me some link of some YouTube video downloaders. And I don't want one that should be downloaded. I'm talking about online downloaders.
All right, I'm back, bro.
Yeah. Did you manage to download the video?
Yeah, it's downloading now. It's going to take like a couple minutes.
Oh, that's beautiful. Well, you'll be able to transfer it to me. We
it's
transfer,
called 4K.
right?
It's called 4K downloader.
But you need to download it, that stuff, do you?
Yeah, it's called 4K. You just need to copy the link and then put it in the program called 4K.
Well, hold on. I'm going to try 4K downloader, because when I went there, it looked like you have to download the stuff. You see, it says get 4K downloader.
Yeah, you have to check you got to download the program.
Yeah, I'm skeptical about these things,
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I feel you.
Yeah. Because
read up on it.
Yeah. Do they have the, what is it called? The stuff that how do you call it again? The watermark? Do they have their watermark?
No. It's nothing. It's nothing. And it gives you different ways, different formats you can download in too.
Okay. Well, I've just downloaded it and now I'm installing it, and then hopefully I can just move on to the comments and give anybody that work.
Hopefully it's safe, man.
Those Twitter finger people, man. And those people that are in the chat, they try to act like they want to holler at you. We never seen them. We never heard them. Like
they don't want to holler, man. It's just they might even be bots, man. You never know. I mean, people, this game is gone so far.
You can tell they're not bots. I'm talking about people, typing in the chat. Sana even mentioned Mika. Like Mika's gonna come on air and talk about information. That she's too worried about OnlyFans. She's tired of being poor. She said it herself. Then Ankh tried to play a feminist when I mentioned that. Just like he tried to play the feminist when I mentioned Dr. Maat inviting Dr. Wesley Muhammad, PhD, who said, throw Kemet in the garbage can, throw Maat in the trash can, throw Amin Rada Slave, making God away. Then Ankh was trying to act like, oh, he didn't invite Dr. Wesley Muhammad. He said, oh, that was my... I mean, this is funny talking points, man. He gave the green light. He gave the go-ahead. Don't tell me it's my man who invited him.
You know what? That's the worst thing. If you believe in having a car, you know what I'm saying? That's the that when I listen to that video and you hear a couple, like one or two people in the background going, woo, it's almost like they're having a spiritual moment.
Let me play, brother. Let me play.
What is this?
Some people may not know what we're talking about, man.
It's twisted.
You know what I'm saying? This is who Ankh invited on his channel after he made those statements. A PhD in Islamic studies, 1 minute long.
Wrote Kemet if you want to get off sensitive about blacks conquering blacks, throw Maya in the trash can, throw Amin Ra, the slave making God away.
Now we have to thank Brother Garfield Reed for warning us about the sexual misconduct in the conscious community. It's less than 1 minute long.
Since I've been a part of this conscious community, sexual misconduct has been condemned and vilified almost unanimously. We saw the rise and fall of Dr. York. We had Hebrew Israelite, the brother by the name of Mighty Hebrew. He was convicted, I think, twice for sexual behavior against minors. He was widely condemned by the Hebrew Israelite community, but apparently forgiven by the Israelites, because I see him all over the place right now on everybody's channel. Another brother by the name of Nazi Yashavel, another Israelite, also involved in sexual misconduct with a minor. We have no idea where this brother is, but he's been sheltered somewhere by an Israelite group.
The new talking point. You talk about everybody. Garfield Reed, aka Trackfield, been talking about Jabari, about Baba Heru, about Mfudisi Jerutimes, playing that claim where it says 1 + 1 = 3, and keep on playing it, putting laughters. You know what I'm saying? Calling people Egyptomaniacs. Did they say, oh, you talk about everybody? Those are talking points. It doesn't work. So now you heard. Thank you, Garfield Reed, for warning us about the sexual misconduct in the community. Now let's listen to Kona.
I'm gonna tell you why, because I'm an Israelite and Tazaryach Israelite. And I think his doctrine is off compared to what we teach. We both had the same mission, but he's telling the Israelites it's okay to mix race, right? He's telling that they got a doctrine saying that if a child reached a flower, they could be 15 or 9 years old, you can have sex with them.
Okay,
This is what they
now
teach.
you talk about running.
All right. Now, for those who didn't hear, Reggie, you said, "Oh, I was with Dr. Ben, blah blah blah." Listen to what he said.
I don't believe in old Egyptian gods. I don't believe in that stuff. I wasn't even taught that bullshit, right? I'm the one who bangs against the Kemetics. I bang against them, and they can't get through me because the gods that they worship, right, were born from another group of thinking, right? So you can't come with me with no goddamn Heru or no other that bullshit. Show it to me in the primary, show it to me in writing, show it to me in the period. You're making the bullshit up.
All right, you heard that. Now here, that's the video in full. Farrakhan teaching. That's the Nation of Islam teaching doctrine that black people are marked and disfigured, the essence of ugliness, because we rebelled against God. We didn't have kinky hair, but after we rebelled from God, our phenotype changed. And that's 3 minutes long. 3 minutes and 18 seconds to be exact. If you can't stand the heat, get out of the kitchen.
So Shabazz was not permitted to stay in that area, so he took his family into the jungle of East Asia, which we now call Africa, to make a people close to nature. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, this is the origin of kinky hair, because we didn't have kinky hair prior to that. The hair on our head was like the hair on our eyebrows. The hair on your eyebrows straight, the hair on your head is not the same as the hair on your eyebrow. But the hair of every other people is the same as their eyebrow. Your eyebrow straight, your hair something different. Wouldn't you like the hair on your head to be as straight as the hair on your eyebrow? That's why you're so busy frying it. That's why you're so busy pulling it. Because your nature tells you that the kink I mean, you know, with I'm black and I'm proud, we got to learn to be proud of kinks. Because most of your family of other black people on the earth, jet black. They didn't have no broad nose and thick lips and kinky hair. They were dark-skinned people, jet black, but they had straight hair, a thinner lip, a thinner nose. But we are marked as a different kind of black person. And we were rejected and despised, not only from the circle of the gods, but we were despised and rejected by all the other dark people of the earth. This is why today black people with kinky hair and broad nose and thick lips are rejected in every society. I want you to hear me well tonight. Yes, sir. Why are we rejected? Because the essence of beauty is in obedience and submission to God. And the essence of ugliness is when you rebel against God. And when you rebel against God, in your rebellion, you are marked with a certain mark of your rebellion, which is the disfigurement of your internal self, which manifests in the disfigurement of your external self. And this is why when you look at our people, wherever we are found on the earth, you find us either disfiguring ourselves physically because we are disfigured on the inside because of rebellion. Yes, sir. Go
ahead. All right. V. Bennett, are you there?
Yeah, bro. I'm here. I'm listening. You know that thing.
What's the progress on the download on your end?
Oh, let me check it. All right, well, let me check it. My computer's in the other room. 2 seconds.
Yeah, thank you.
It's a big video. It's 5 hours, man. So mine said 3 gigabytes or something. So it could be the Wi-Fi. Let me check. 2 seconds.
Yeah, thank you. So let me go through the comments. As you see, nobody comes in though. So if you better wrote, I knew they were going to warn you because you're close to exposing the entire fraud. And once people catch on, you know our people that will be angry. Here I was warning that I was still on Senator's channel. That's why I cut short of my February intro. I'm not going to call it the Black History Month intro, but because the sound was playing, you know, I couldn't listen to what was going on Senator's channel and having that sound as well. But anyway, Reggie running, and it's because he can't back up his words. Peanut King wrote, yeah, they can talk about what they want, but try to run somebody else off the panel. That master wrote peace, Shaka. He didn't hold any. Oh, I read that already. So yeah, feel free, V. Bennett.
Yeah, it's downloading. It's just a big video, man. And Wi-Fi take a little bit of, you know, I think high definition is like 3 gigabyte video.
Yeah.
So
for me it's 4 gigabyte, but it says it's an hour left. You know, I hope it will be there. Hopefully the review.
What I did was when I saw that, I decided to scale it down and downloaded it like normal quality. So then it's only it take less time. But you know, we're gonna see, because look, the bottom line is if they got an issue with that video, they're gonna take it off. If they don't, they're gonna leave it up. So I mean,
we'll see. We'll see. So let me just go through the comments here. So Akhenaten wrote, Hotep, where Reggie at? Tell him to click the link and bring his award. I don't doubt that he received an award, but it's funny though, because Reggie told me, do you have a degree? I didn't go online claiming that I have a degree, let alone a bachelor's degree in history. I'm a student in Egyptology. The problem, see, and many of Garfield's groupies, they say that when we talk about, oh, he doesn't have a bachelor's degree in history. And I almost forgot to play that. Chris MVP Harris, that's not he said, she said. That's not he or said.
Bro,
you know.
See, I've been real nice towards you, dog. You ain't even got a bachelor's. I dare you to come forward now, my nigga, and show everybody that fake ass bachelor's degree that you showed me, or I'll bring it forth. You don't have a bachelor's degree, my nigga. I cap for your ass over there on Brother Shaka's channel, but I won't cap for your ass no more.
Feel free, V. Bennett. Feel free. You were talking just before I played it.
Well, yeah. Well, the interesting thing about that is that I call them the 3 blind mice, right? They stick together, but none of them agree. So one says one thing, and the other one says, it says Dr. Ben's not a real scholar. Dr. Ben had this, and then the other one who's sticking with him in another argument says, "Show me your degree," and then the other says. I have a degree, but I'm not going to show it to you. It's like, and then the other, it's like, I mean, it makes, see, this is what I understand. And most rational people that are students in anthropology understand this. It doesn't make sense. So that means there's something else there. People don't stick together when they don't agree like this. You know, and for some reason, they just sticking together with a few things. One, Shaka and Ndugu Kemet, I'm not going to debate you, but I'm going to say Frenchie, and I'm going to say go back to Africa. That we agree on. Go back to Africa, right? But then again, they won't debate you, right? So it's just, the one says you can talk, one talks about rape, the other says it's personal. I mean, but they stick together, these two people. It's like, what? I mean, to stick together, it makes you ask, what are they sticking together for? Because they don't agree about nothing. So the only things they agree about is Shaka and Ndugu Kemet, you're African American, and go back to Africa. Those are the things they agree on. So I don't get their whole point in this. You know, you've been around since, like you said, 2004, you've been doing your thing. I came across you in 2007. Anybody that was around then knows who you are because you had a platform. You were big, you were large, you were just as relevant as SETI or anybody else, Sarnetta at that time. So the people playing like they don't know who you are, it's just a joke, you know? So to me, when I add all those things up, smells fishy. Smells like there's something else going on. That's all I got to say, you know? So the earnest is not on us to make what they say make sense.
Indeed, it's something inconvenient. We know who they capped for, you know, and we heard Reggie capping for Garfield. I simply ask, does he have a bachelor's degree in history? Reggie doesn't want to answer. Reggie doesn't want to lie live on air. He already told so many lies. And he lied on SETI. You know, he lied on SETI. SETI knew Dr. Ben. Now, SETI said he was a student of Dr. Ben. Okay. Now, Reggie begs to differ. But that's just really a minor point. That's a minor point. You know what I'm saying? And and it's interesting because I told SETI, Reggie to his face. You know, even though it's online. The first time I saw Reggie, he was talking down on South Student SETI. You know,
like I was saying before,
yeah.
bro, in this type of power vacuum, which power, people that want power, they exist in a power vacuum. They have to respond and magnetize towards where the power lies that they seek. It's that simple. So I'm just saying, like I said, heavy is the man that wears the crown. Heavy is that crown, because there's always individuals that you have to ask, why are you here? What's your goal? And from what it looks like to me is like, you know, as much as they cap towards others, the goal might be something completely different. That's all I gotta say. You know, that's all, and it might have something to do with power. So in other words, what I'm saying to Sarnetta is, be careful who you trust. Yeah, and I'm sure he know that. He from NYC, you know, he appears he appears to know how to operate in a cesspool. But what I'm saying is that from what it looks like to me, you could say you down with somebody, you could say you friends with somebody, you could say you known for so many years. Who cares, man? Malcolm X was killed by one of his own. His own people set him up. And, you know, the people closest. Martin Luther King, people closest set him up. Friends, this is for real. So your friendship and how long you know somebody got nothing to do with it, because people that know each other send each other to the grave every day. They send each other to the prison every day. It is not everyone that follows those ethical rules. You see what I'm saying? So those things are all schematics. You know, one thing we know is Sarnetta put his work down and he got big platforms. That's power in our community, because you control the conversation. You decide what's going to be discussed and what's relevant to your community. So Sarnetta's doing something. There have to be others that want to get close to shut him down and change the direction, change what's being said. It's just facts. That's politics for you.
Now we have a caller here. Now the name is Rashun Air. Feel free to speak. Thank you for calling.
Yo, how you doing?
I'm chilling in yourself.
I'm cool. I hit the link. So the brother V Bennett, I don't disagree with much you said at all. The only thing I disagree with was when you said why are they still together when they disagree about a lot. So from what I learned is most times people in groups who when they disagree and break up is for, you know, it's like religious issues or they get into it. But if I understand correctly, and Shaka, you've been in you were with I don't know if it's Dagger Squad or you was with Amin Ra Squad.
Amin Ra Squad, yes. More than 10 years ago,
don't
yes.
Agree on the same thing, everything. But when you find information out, you know, y'all debate it out, and then what the information shows who's right, who's wrong, or whatever, or whatnot. So man, that's what I learned. I mean, you know, so you know, I've been in organizations, religious organizations, when I didn't disagree about when I disagreed about the information, I knew it was time to bounce because some people be evangelistic, so they they're gonna attack you because you got information that'll disprove what they so indoctrinated. You know what I'm saying? It ain't no point in staying. But the Dagger Squad is not a religious organization, so they can disagree about information. You know what I'm saying, like that. But personal stuff, that's when the people break up. Personal or religious stuff. That's how I see it.
I hear you, bro, and you're correct. I wasn't really clear, and that was a broad statement I made. So what I would say to roll that back a little bit is to be more precise is I would say this: Reggie, right, or Ankh says go back to Africa. Garfield is not African American, right? So, but right. For some, and then on top of it, then you have Reggie, right, who seems to cover up or promote Garfield while he shares a sentiment that Shaka and Dugu Kemet shouldn't have anything to say because they're not from the United States of America. So what I'm saying is those are some things that are deeply that you have to like take a stand on, left or right. Do you agree that you have to be African American? And what is African American defined? What exactly does that mean? And what exactly is that? And they don't seem to want to clear that up. That's what I mean. But yet they hold together on that premise. I mean, they don't even hold together because right. Garfield ain't African American, but they seem to think that his comments matter. They seem to think that his arguments are okay. They got no problem promoting him. See, that's what I was getting at. But I feel you, brother. And by all means, we know that we're all growing, and I'm not perfect. I might not see something that you might see. So I appreciate that.
Right. So listen, that's an interesting the thing about the go back to Africa comment, right? And I think Sekou said something, and he was told the same thing. Is that right?
Yeah, something like that. Exactly.
All right. So look, my wife is Nigerian, right? My wife is Nigerian. It's crazy because she's Christian. You know what I'm saying? She Christian or whatever, and for some reason she indoctrinated, plain and simple. But she made comments to me often, like what African Americans need to do to be liberated and all that other stuff. And she based it on her experiences as a Nigerian. All we need to do is get educated and then we can be free. And I'm like, it ain't that simple. It ain't that simple. It's more like we need to get away from colonizers. We need to be separated from them and run our own stuff. It ain't just us being educated. It's other things besides that. We need more economic education. We don't know what to do with money. We usually spend buying Jordans, buying this, buying that, instead of using money to make more money, building generational wealth and education. Yes. But at the same time, we need to get away from colonizers being in charge of government and governing us,
And what I would say to that is y'all both right. I mean, that's the thing about it. In some way, from your own, see, having a different perspective, it should bring something to the table that's interesting to dialogue about. But neither one of you, you never came out of your mouth and said, go back to Africa because she's expressing something to you. If she sees and experiences something and sees something that she thinks can add on to our community and help us, she's obligated to state it if she cares about us. But on the flip side of it, it doesn't mean that there's not something there. And it also doesn't mean that she may not be overlooking some things. But you never came out and said, go back to Africa. And that's the thing about it. You see, we have to stop there because for us to fix our situation and for us to fix it in terms of being diaspora Africans or Black people, we cannot go there. That's the exact opposite. We got to be up to have good conversations, in-depth conversations, and adult ones. And I would say to you, if your lady's dropping that down to you, she's probably saying it because there's something there.
Oh yeah, she's
vice versa.
Chicago. I'm in Chicago, right? If you know about Chicago, it's shootings. We hear about shootings all the time, all over, right? All over the city. So, what she told me was her idea of African Americans came from movies like Boys in the Hood and Men's Society. She thought all African Americans were thugs and gangsters and all that. That's all they do is shoot each other, this, that, and third. But that's what they portrayed. So, when they get here, like they most of them will stay up north because they scared of the South Side, because that's what we are. We generally, we generally on the South Side of the city. like a lot of the other foreigners or whatever are generally up north, you know what I'm saying? And even on the north side, it's not all good, you know what I'm saying, but it's considered safer. You know, your children can play outside and all that type of stuff most of the times, not all the time. So I showed her about the south side more, right? She started staying outside and she's like, oh, it's not that bad. I can stay out here. But there are times where, you definitely got to be you got to be on your P's and Q's and stuff like that. So if you don't grow up here, if you don't know that, then you don't know that. I have responded to her when she makes those comments saying, I haven't said like go back to Africa. I'm saying, well, I'll say like you simply I've seen some history about Nigeria, right? You don't just get educated and that just it, you just be free. They fought against colonizers, plain and simple. It ain't just, it was, matter of fact, there was a special on Netflix called something about the journals of the British colony, whatever, in Nigeria, or journals about the British colony. And they talk about how there was women, they were the first ones who started being the ones fighting in Nigeria to be liberated from the colonizers or whatever. So it ain't like, I don't know how she don't know that when she's from there. I don't know how people don't understand. I mean, getting educated, yes, you definitely need to be educated, but it's going to be other things like fighting. It's going to be other things like money and economics, et cetera, et cetera.
I feel you.
Hold on, please. Oh. Hold that thought, please. Let us hear from Pan-African Gents. You feel speak, brother.
Peace to everybody on the panel. What's happening with you, Shaka?
You sound very low.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I'm chilling. How about you?
I'm low?
Well, I can hear you.
On my computer, you are. I don't know about everyone. On mine, you are.
So I have 2 strikes.
Hello? Yeah. You about to strike out, Shaka.
Yeah, copyright infringement.
That's what I came over here to let you know that Pan-Africanism has nothing to do with Islam or the Nation of Islam or Hebrew Israelites. And that's what I wanted you
says who
to really just be honest about, brother. Says who?
Yes.
Is that what you asked me?
Yes, says who?
See, so bam, this is what we gonna do then. So since you want to know since it says who, and I know you're a stickler for documentation, right? Mm-hmm. Hold on, I can't share my screen or something. Hold on. Okay, so what we gonna do?
On my computer.
Okay, can you you hear me? Can you hear me?
Hello?
What's going on? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so bam, this is what we're gonna do. I just share my screen.
It's not showing yet.
Okay. What I need to do? You want me to try to share it again?
Yeah, right now I don't see the screen share.
Okay, hold on. Dang it. Okay, hold on. Here it is, right here.
So Pan-African seems to say that Hebrew Israelites, there it is, I see it now, are not Pan-Africans.
Okay. Pan-Africanism, right?
Yes.
So if you can feel free if you want to, you can read through here and you will notice, Shaka, that it says nothing in here about Hebrew Israelites or Muslims, right? If you could just read the whole thing, you're not going to see this has nothing to do with that. This has to do with African liberation and African uniting based on our situations all over the planet. So
hold that thought, brother. I'm not talking about Pan-Africanism as a movement. I'm really talking about the organizations, because here it would not say, okay, Hebrew Israelites are or are not. I'm talking about the Pan-African organizations.
Okay. Well, let's stop right there then. So what organizations are you talking about that's represent Pan-Africanism?
Well, you tell me. I've been asking for years. Nobody answers.
But okay, nobody answers. What I'm trying to but see, this is what I'm trying to. I'm just really puzzled by. Then that means you already know the answer, that there is no Pan-African movement in America, even in France, that's of any significance to try to govern.
I know them.
Yeah, but watch this. Watch this,
Shaka.
Hold up, Shaka. Watch this. I don't know them, and nobody in America knows who you talking about in France.
So Pan-African James, for the record, you're saying that in America, there are not a single Pan-African organization.
Yes, and in France, there's not a single Pan-African organization of significance.
There's plenty, brother. And I
no,
don't
it's
want to give their
not.
names.
What it
because I
is,
don't
you
want to
have
give them clout.
individuals that's playing, that's claiming Pan-Africanism.
No,
And
brother.
it's because if they were significant, we would know them in America.
Well,
we don't know them.
You know why they are significant? Because some of them, they have African American Pan-Africans on their live stream, on their YouTube, and sometimes they do conferences and they invite them over. You know, I've seen them.
You're talking about just like what we do in America. We got people that have infinities for Pan-Africanism, like like Sinetta. He's on the internet. He's a Pan-African, but it's no organization here.
I didn't hear Sinetta said that, but
you know, Sinetta's a Pan-African. Cut it out, Shaka.
Why would you put that on him?
Okay, well, what we'll do is we'll ask him if he considers himself a Pan-African.
Yeah, we'll ask him. But the thing is that, you know, those Pan-African organizations that I'm talking about, you have a chairman or president, then you have like a secretary. Sometimes you can have two or vice chairmans. You have a treasury. They are actually registered organization. You know, so
okay, stop, Shaq. Because I don't want to do this. Hold on, check this out. In this right here is what Pan-Africanism is. You can't try to add in Muslims and you can't add in Hebrews into what the definition of it is. It's just like you going in and reading the metadata and adding in that the Hebrews was in there when you don't see nothing about no Hebrews in the text.
But brother,
it's the same thing.
Please show me where it says that there's no Muslim or Hebrews or like Pan-Africans. Please show me.
It says, okay, well, let me just read it for you. It says, Pan-Africanism is a worldwide movement that is aimed to encourage strengthen the bonds of solidarity between all indigenous and diasporan people of African ancestry, based on the common goal dating back to the African slave trade. Don't got nothing to do with Muslims or Hebrews. It says, and the movement extends, hold on. The movement extends beyond the continental. Hold on. Okay, well, let me just stop reading. Go ahead. Because I'm gonna read. I can read this whole thing. It's not gonna have anything to do with the Nation of Islam, and it's not gonna have anything to do with Hebrew Israelites. I'm trying to tell you,
Brother James.
Watch this. Watch what it is gonna have. It's gonna have Malcolm X in here, right? It's gonna say I can go down and show you. It's gonna have Malcolm X in here. But if I showed you what Malcolm X became
who was a Muslim.
Okay, he was a Muslim at the time that he came into Pan-Africanism, but you know, Shaka, and I know you know this, that Malcolm X's parents were real Pan-Africans. Don't you know that?
Yeah, that's his parents, brother. You see, you
okay, watch this. Okay, hold on, but watch this. Listen, the Pan-African movement died off when Garvey got deported and everything happened. That's why you have the Nation of Islam movement rising. He just went into what he thought was the next best movement. You got to know the chronology of this history before you start speaking. Okay, but then watch this. Do you know?
But Pan-African, you're still not a member of any Pan-African organization, right?
You do not. Hold up. To see if you read this, you do not have to be a member of any organization to be a Pan-Africanism, a Pan-African. It's based on ancestry. It's not based on any type of something that you have to join.
Okay, well,
are you an African? Do you want to see the liberation of your people? That's all it takes to require to acknowledge that. That's all it takes, Shaka. It don't take we got to have some type of a building or a church for us to be Pan-Africans.
Please, Pan-African James. Now, if a Hebrews would like to say it's okay.
Because evidently you don't want to deal with the definition.
Hey, James, stay on, bro. Stay on.
Well, okay. I mean, I don't mind you reading the whole article, but really, it will be time consuming. Nowhere in this article it says that Hebrew Israelites and Muslims are non-Pan-African. Now, if a Hebrew Israelite who says that it's okay to have sex with
but nowhere in here does it say that they are. You are doing that.
So no, I know the Pan-African organizations. You have Muslims, you have Christians, you have Hebrew Israelites, and they have the right to. But sadly, even the pedophiles are being acclaimed. Like I said, Molefe Asante's organization gave a trophy to a serial rapist. So now, if a Hebrew Israelite who has molested a girl, an underage girl, let's say 10-year-old, and he wants the liberation of his people, and he's going to go to some Pan-African organizations, what are they going to say? He's welcome or he's not welcome?
Shaka, be for real. Did you not hear the speech that Dr. Clark said about the Nation of Islam or anything? Have you not heard that?
I only heard Dr. Clark and Dr. Ben.
He's a Pan-African. Okay, now is Dr. Clark a Pan-African? He's not a Pan-African?
I would say he was a Pan-African, but you see, that's how
Okay,
many decades ago. Now,
watch this. How many decades ago is this video that you playing about the Nation of Islam?
It's 1992. It's 1992. It's not so many decades.
Okay, now watch this. Let's find out when Dr. Clark was talking about Minister Farrakhan. It was around
in the 90s, I believe. That was in the 90s.
So
but what's the point?
Now watch this. The point is this.
But you notice you're not answering my question.
Nobody that's real Pan-Africans, that's not a Muslim, don't give about that. You got to understand, in America, the Nation of Islam population is only 50,000. It's less than 50,000 humans. The population of African Americans is 40.
At least 300,000. Yeah.
Okay, well, let's do this then. So since you want to do that, hold on. I got it already right here for shot. We ain't even got to do that.
Okay.
And this is the anti. And we'll just pull it up and I'll just show you. This is in 2020. It's dated, so you'll be able to see the date on here.
But
hold on, let me share.
There's Louis Farrakhan, and that's recent. Watch what it says. Although the Nation of Islam official members is relatively small, estimated at 50,000 people, the influence of Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam teaching has regularly extended. What happened? Oh, okay. Has regularly extended. Oh, yes, he had, because of the Pan-Africanism that he talks, he reaches African people, but we don't mess with the Islam part. When he's talking pro-black, that's what they did. They mixed Islam with Pan-Africanism, Shaka. We follow the Pan-Africanism of it, but we don't follow the Islam shit. When he started talking disparaging about, we're not trying to hear that shit. I'm trying to tell you, Shaka, we in America, we not messing with Islam like you think. You got to listen to us. We here.
That
but anyway, I'm gonna mute out and let the other brothers speak.
No, I was just gonna say that 50,000, that figure 50,000 is highly wrong, And you got to think about from all the different sects of nations. They got a bunch of different sects because people don't agree and they got different leaders. But that's highly wrong and highly it's very small and wrong. Especially with the major cities here, like Chicago, New York, Detroit, and all that is wrong. Atlanta. If I'm not mistaken, that source is like that's a lot
of people, but that's not that. I mean, you can give or take a couple of thousand. I'm not saying it's.
I'm talking about. I agree with Shaka. It's probably more like 300,000 or maybe even more than that. 50,000.
Yeah, but see, you got Sunni Muslims. You got Sunni. We're talking about just the
Nation of Islam. No, I'm strictly talking about Nation of Islam.
Well, the doctrine you can pull up.
Just for another example, right? Or Science of America.
We could all pull up any numbers or whatever to pull, what the numbers may be. But if it's 300,000, we are people of 48. We are people of 48 million.
Let me source up, please. Okay, the book is called Inside the Nation of Islam. The author of the book rose to the rank of minister, so he knows his stuff. You see. And I'm going to share the Amazon link so people can see it. And he clearly wrote on page 221, of course, Farrakhan did not achieve the same physical level of Elijah Muhammad's movement, which had a membership of at least 250,000 and a very large business structure. At the time of Elijah Muhammad, there were 250,000 strong, according to this former minister of the NOI. Can you imagine at the time of Farrakhan? So it's not 50,000, it's hundreds of thousands. And I'm sharing the link so people can see.
No. Hold up. Isn't that talking about before Farrakhan? It says, he said, of course, Farrakhan did not achieve, and they're talking about at their apex, that's what the numbers was. But the numbers have dwindled since Elijah Muhammad. Just like the numbers dwindled when the numbers dwindled when Marcus McGarvey got deported to back to Jamaica. So
Brother, you can say that, but you didn't show any source. You didn't show any source.
But hold on, but regardless of the fact, we are people in America of 48 million. 250,000 people ain't nothing. You see what I'm saying?
No, you cannot say that, brother. You cannot say that. It's probably one of the largest black organization in America. Maybe in the world. You see? You cannot minimize that.
Too much credit, homie.
It's not credit. Numbers don't lie, brother. Numbers don't lie. And you keep talking about the Nation of Islam as if Muslims are only Nation of Islam members. Nation of Islam is not even Orthodox Muslims. You know?
I know that they're their own.
Right.
They're their total own creation.
Yeah, but the point is that you cannot decide what a Pan-African is. I never heard that a Pan-African is not supposed to be Muslim or Hebrews. Well, like some Hebrews.
But you heard it now.
From you. But you're not even part of a part of a Pan-African organization. Yet
it don't have nothing to do with that. Watch this. I'm gonna show and prove right now how you know. Because you know your buddy Sekou, that's from Africa, from Liberia. Remember he was a Muslim? Why? Hold up. Why didn't he stay a Muslim and stay Pan-African? Why did he choose to leave Islam and then claim Pan-Africanism? Why did he do that?
Well, you can ask him, but Sekou didn't say.
You already know the answer.
You know what's funny is that Sekou was asked. JJ 7000 asked him about the Hebrew Israelites. Sekou embraces them, and he's not the only one. So you cannot put that on Sekou. Sekou never said that in order to be a Pan-African, you should not be Muslim or Hebrew or Jewish.
He said, hold up, this is what Sekou said. He said once he found out his history, he knew that he couldn't be a Muslim, and he went back to African spirituality.
That's him.
Which is so.
Sekou never said that a Pan-African cannot be
why
Muslim
wouldn't
or Hebrew
would pop up right now so we can get?
Well, it's a bit early now, but if you're here, Sekou, just come on and please tell. And anybody that's a member of a Pan-African organization is welcome. The link is in the chat, but I'm going to share it again. I have never heard any Pan-African organization say, well, we should be only non-Abrahamic. That doesn't exist. So I guess you didn't know, Brother Pan-African James, but now you know.
No. I know what it used to be, that everybody, it was all inclusive. But once it started parsing out, and then you have to think about what Pan-Africanism is, when you got Hebrews telling you that they won't feed an African person if they were starving, that's a non-Pan-African thought. So you got to kick them out. Like you kick them out right immediately. Like why would you think that we would want them in the group?
But not a single Pan-African organization has made a comment or a statement about that. And that was Captain Tazaryach.
There is no Pan-African group. Didn't you hear Sanetta and everybody else denounce that? You didn't hear that?
Sanetta did. He said,
and everybody else that was shocked and appalled that he said that denounced it.
Please. Sanetta said, Captain Tazaryach, you're my brother, but you no longer will be on the panel. 2 weeks later, he was back on the panel. Now Sanetta
ain't got nothing to do with us.
No, hold on. You're saying there's no Pan-African organization in America. There are.
Where?
Okay, well, let's look for them then.
You should know them by name. You know about the Nation of Islam.
And well, that's not a Pan-African organization. That's
now it's not. See what I'm saying?
But
you can't have it both ways.
Did you ever hear me say that the Nation of Islam is a Pan-African organization?
Well, when you start to show these videos and you have in the title about some Pan-Africanism, you're putting that all together.
It is, because if a Nation of Islam member goes to a Pan-African organization and says, I want to join, they will not say you cannot join because you're a Nation of Islam member. Pan-African organization accept.
I don't know how we keep going around and ring around the rosy.
Well, because
there
you're not
is
aware.
No Pan-African organization for a Nation of Islam member to join. If he wants to join, if they want to join the NOI, that's long past gone. Nobody, the UNIA, you don't see them on the internet talking about the UNIA. You see Sanetta. You see me. You see a lot of brothers that still carrying the torch. These brothers right here, they're still pro-black.
Brother, this is not an organization. This is people talking online. You know,
man.
That's
you really believe
organized organizations, like on paper organized.
Okay, when I say organization,
you think that we gotta have some paper to be pro-black or something?
No, not paper. I mean, some organizations, many actually have a membership card. But even if you don't have a membership,
like Reggie.
Well,
now
no,
you sounding like
don't put that
Reggie.
on me, please. No.
yeah. That's what you doing.
No,
see, because Reggie said that same
but,
thing to me. I can play the audio for you.
I don't know what he said, but I definitely don't sound like Reggie. You are not part of a Pan-African organization. You've been saying that there's no Pan-African organization in America, and that's false. And I'm talking, I'm looking for organizations to show you.
We got the new Black Panther Party. I don't
Well,
know
there
if
it
it's
is.
national. I believe it is, but we got the new Black
They're
Panther.
they consider themselves Pan-Africans too.
Yeah.
Well, there it is. So you see, you just said there was none, and now you're saying.
Now watch this. Okay, that's the new Black Panther Party. Now watch this. When the Black Panthers was at their strongest, what happened to them, Shaka?
No, the new Black Panther Party.
I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about the nucleus. What happened when they were at their apex and their strongest? They were Pan-Africans too. What happened to them and their leaders when they started to expound for African nationalism? What happened to them?
Okay, I have the NBBP website, so we're gonna get some clarity now. Okay, so I'm sharing the link. I'm sharing the link in the chat, and we're gonna see that it mentions Pan-African. So that's established for the record, and they are, of course, in America. You see NBBP, New Black Panther Party, and if when we go down here, what does it say here?
Red, black,
the
and
New
green.
Black Panther Party have moved forward as a Black nationalist Pan-African revolutionaries. There it is. So they are Pan-Africans,
right?
And we know very well, because we had Khalid Abdul Muhammad, who was a leader. He was a Muslim, even though it's not Orthodox Muslim.
Yeah.
We had Malik Zulu Shabazz, who is also a Muslim. He shared a painting or picture of Far Muhammad, and he said all praises is due to him. So, and Hashim Zinga, who was a leader who passed on. I don't know if he was a Muslim. I wouldn't be surprised if he was. So here it is, Pan-African James. I've just demonstrated that your idea was wrong.
I'm definitely aware of them. But see, what you got to understand is the chronology of what happened to Khalid Muhammad. Before he died, he was coming into his Pan-Africanism. I can show you the video. He's talking about Kemet. He's talking about Africa. The Nation of Islam don't talk about Africa, Shaka.
Pan-African James,
show me a video. Show me a video of Farrakhan talking positive about Africa in the lights in the same way that the Khalid was before he got assassinated.
Yeah, Pan-African James, the New Black Panther Party, is it a Pan-African organization?
Yes.
All right. So you just contradicted yourself.
But it's not birthed out of the Nation of Islam. What was the New Black Panther? No, the Black Panther Party birthed out of the Nation of Islam. No. What happens is when Khalid, watch this. Hold on, I'm gonna give you the history because I know the history. Hold on. What happened was when Khalid got exiled out of the Nation of Islam, he formed the New Black Panther Party.
He didn't form it. It was already formed. It's someone called Shawn Michael who formed it.
Yeah, in Dallas, Texas, right?
Yes.
He's from I'm right here in Dallas, Texas. I'm aware of that. But he's rarely known. The figurehead of the New Black Panther Party is who?
It's Khalid Abdul Muhammad. He's the de facto
leader. So that's why we're going to stick. We're going to stick to the figure.
It's important.
We're going to stick to who made them who they were. Because of his exile out of the Nation of Islam. He formed with that brother.
He joined that brother.
Okay, now watch this. Yeah, he formed and joined with the brother. That was the New Black Panther Party. Had nothing to do with the Nation, but they took a strong brother in. That was smart on their part. But at the same time, once he got into that, Dr. Clark got it in Khaled's ear. Reggie will tell you. And he started to change his viewpoints before he died. Do you know when these brothers died, do you know Malcolm died in his 30s? Do you know he got assassinated in his 30s?
Pan-African James, because you have an idea of Pan-Africanism, you cannot put some doctrine or words into people's mouth. Khalid Abdul Muhammad never said that he's not a Muslim, that he doesn't believe in Allah.
Okay,
so we knew him as a Muslim, and he passed on as a Muslim. So you see, we went to the bottom of this with sources. Now if you have other sources, feel free. But like I was saying, Pan-Africans.
Go ahead. Let me just go ahead and pull up Khaled's last speech, then. So since you think that he was just a Muslim, and see what he said about Islam. Let's just see.
Pan-African James. You said
you like to do this too. You like to share documentation and what people say. So let me do the same thing that you're talking about. Let's listen to Khaled's last speech. Okay. So y'all go ahead and find the speech. I'm gonna mute out.
Okay, but while you look for the speech, Are you saying that Khalid Abdul Muhammad was no longer a Muslim before he died? Is that what you're saying?
No.
It was breaking up when you answered, brother.
No, that's not what that's not what I'm saying.
All right, so case closed. Case closed.
No, that's
okay,
not what I'm saying. But hold on, watch this. When you come from something, you still have affinities for it as you moving away from it. So yeah, he was still teaching. But let's listen to what he says about Islam in his last speech.
Well, when he says that he went to Mecca for the Hajj, and racism was so thick that you can cut it with a knife, that he didn't see what Malcolm X saw. Is that what you're talking about? I've heard most of Khalid Abdul Muhammad's speeches. Now, brother Rashun, feel free to add on if you want to.
I don't know if I remember his last speech or whatnot. So I don't know if I'll be able to talk. I was in the Moorish time to America. I remember they kept talking about how they kept playing videos about how when he was talking about he was a Moor and all that other stuff, and that's I don't agree with that anymore. I've been out of that for years now. So
yeah, there's that clip where he says, I'm a Moor. He says several things, you know what I'm saying? He talked about Kemet. But see, our people, we need some, and it's good to have these discussions. It's good to have these dialogues because we're getting some clarity, Our dear brother Pan-Africans thought that Pan-Africans were strictly non-Abrahamic. And today, he got to realize that wasn't the case, And being Abrahamic is not a negative by default. But my main issue is those people who touch on babies who are accepted by Pan-Africans. Whether it's babies or women, they can rape women like this leader of the French. And we talked about this briefly about the Pan-African Gems. I played that guy in France who has this YouTube channel, which is quite successful. And he defended the guy who was accused of raping women. He went to jail for raping, for rape. And Molefe Asante's organization gave him a trophy, and it's online on YouTube. And I saved the video in case it's no longer online. And that's my main issue. I think that's been going on in America regarding the rape of women and children. It's been going on also in the French-speaking world and Africa as well.
So speaking of what you're talking about, right? So Drew Ali married a 16-year-old girl when he was 42 or 43 years old. He had a wife before her. She cheated on him with his business manager. Then next thing you know, he's with this girl. They go down to the county. Her father signs off, and he gets married. Now, I don't agree with that. 43 and 16, that's crazy. That's crazy. I'm sorry. I don't care when the year was, but this has happened. These are the things that happen. You know what I'm saying?
But brother, if he married her, did she give her real age? Was it legal then? Or did she change her age like Aaliyah did?
A marriage certificate recorded. They got a marriage certificate recorded in the county. So
and her age?
It was legal.
So it means it was
not
legal.
18. She was not 18.
That's but she was 16. But she was legal then. I'm not saying that I agree with that.
Right.
But it was legal then first. Second, that was his wife. Now Elijah Muhammad with his teenage secretaries, they were not his wives.
Right.
And the Nation of Islam, Farrakhan, has lied publicly by saying that those were his wives. When in their own newspapers, I have shown it in their own newspaper dated September 11, 1964, if I'm not mistaken. Well, it has to be because that was before Malcolm died. Isaiah Kareem, a minister, Muhammad Speaks newspaper. Isaiah Kareem, and it's on my website anyway, you go at the bottom of the page, he labeled them prostitutes. He said, as for those prostitutes, but 28 years later, Farrakhan made that speech and had those ladies who filed paternity suits then. One of them at least was put on isolation and charged with adultery. How are you going to be charged with adultery when it's your husband? They were not his wives. And They killed Malcolm X over that, and they lied to the people over that. But, some people are going to be cool with that. And we have Wesley Muhammad now. His book has not been released yet. Maybe they changed their mind because Wesley can be extra with it. But Wesley Muhammad was on a campaign to write some book and basically put the blame elsewhere. Other people may be to blame. But Farrakhan stated out of his own mouth that members of the Nation of Islam were involved in the assassination of Brother Malcolm X. As a matter of fact, Louis Farrakhan stated, for the record, and I have it on tape and I played it, that Prophet Muhammad was a white man. Yet, Dr. Wesson Muhammad, PhD in Islamic studies, wrote a book saying that Prophet Muhammad was a black man. So he contradicted Louis Farrakhan. He also contradicted Elijah Muhammad, because Elijah Muhammad is on tape. The Theology of Time. We have the audio. I've seen it on YouTube, but we have the book, and he wrote the Muhammad that was here 1400 years ago was a white man. What did Wesley Muhammad try to do to make excuses for that is, oh, there's something called literary intent. You don't know what he meant. I don't know what he meant. And then he was trying to, maybe play on the Abiyad foolishness. I dealt with the Abiyad foolishness. So those people are lying on a regular basis. I mean, these guys contradicted Elijah Muhammad and Louis Farrakhan. But the conscious community don't have. Yes, feel free, brother.
Yo.
You in the matrix, bro.
Yeah. You're deep in the matrix.
Go ahead. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, please repeat, because we could. Now we can hear. We didn't hear from you from the time you came back. So
you got it. Go ahead. You got it.
Feel free to come again with what you were saying, so we can hear it. We don't hear you.
This video is still bug.
Well, send the link to me. I can play, but I don't want to pay his full speech. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know what you're trying to show here. If he was a Muslim when he died, he was a Muslim. Period. We cannot make it a non-Muslim.
But you know what?
Talk about. Yeah, feel free, brother.
Well, why don't y'all? To me, it sounds like I understand the distinction and the issue going on. It's what people view as Pan-Africanism, and who calls themselves a Pan-African, and what does a Pan-African do versus what the definition is. These kind of things, because a Pan-African is also action. It's not just your words that you say and how you define yourself, verbally through speech. Right. So I would just say we need this debate about, are there any Pan-Africans organizations in the USA? We need that debate anyway.
Well,
and that debate
they solve is, we got the Blue Black Panther Party. That's just one alone. It's other organizations.
No. Because I get you. That's what they say they are, and that's what their members would say they are. But the real question, because this is why I asked this, because why would anybody that's sucking the lifeblood out of Africa ever want any form of Pan-Africanism? So my thoughts would be, Pan-Africanism is unifying for justice for African people, and that there's probably not a lot of other people but African people that would really, see that as being so vital, right? So my thoughts are, it's not a lot of people that want to see Pan-Africanism prevail or African unity prevail. So I think we should ask, who is Pan-African? What does a Pan-African do? Ask real practical questions, not just what is a Pan-African and go to the description. But that's not a pun to Pan-African James, because I hear his point. I hear his point loud and clear. And I would argue the reason why I'm saying this is because I know that there's a lot of people that do great work that African people benefit for. I know there's a lot of people that do great work that needs to be done and is not being done by a lot of people that call themselves Pan-Africans. So I would suggest that there's a lot of Pan-Africans that people just simply miss. And organizations even. And what is an organization? It's people that organize, right? So people that organize, that you have to seek them out. There are people that are there, but I would just question if they find it so relevant to announce that they're Pan-African, because you announce you Pan-African, you probably going to get some pushback from a lot of different directions, because who wants to see that?
I think you're correct.
Trust me, I know, brother.
I agree with you. What you're saying is there's a lot of Westerners and Israel who wouldn't want the unity of Africans. I also subscribe that what's more important or relevant challenge is the image that is portrayed of Africans to us and us to Africans. That's just more so the separation of anything. Most Africans and African have this concept that we are nothing but Menace to Society and Boys in the Hood does. We shoot and kill each other all the time. I know this because my wife tells me this. I've seen other Nigerians tell me.
Indoctrination.
You know exactly. You know what I'm saying. But we also get we also have a stereotype. We also have a stereotype.
And watch this, brother. Yo, until I learned my history, I didn't like Africans. But then what's so crazy about it? Now I found out I'm an African.
I always,
you know what I'm saying? You're gonna take a genetic test and you try. You know what I'm saying? But you know, through the indoctrination, you start to.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I sent the link, Shaka. So,
yeah, I'm ready to play now. You don't want me to play the whole thing, do you? Do you have a timestamp because it's 9 minutes long?
No,
it's 10 minutes long. Actually.
I don't. I mean,
before you play that,
I don't want you to play the whole thing, but if you could skim to the part where he's talking about disparaging about Islam, that would be great.
Okay, I look for it. Okay, V Bennett, go ahead if it's brief.
If you want me to, I'll mute out. Hold on, I'll mute out and I'll go look for you. Timestamp. How about that?
Yes. Please do that, please.
But
you know why? Okay, so that's what I do. I just do that.
The only thing I didn't say is that I also agree with Shaka here too. That's why I say this debate, it needs to happen, and probably it needs to be its own show for sure. But the reason I would say is because the point that Shaka was, I think the point he was making is he was saying, where are the Pan-Africans that are speaking out against this type of behavior? And I think that's the part I agree with them on. But I think it should just be broken down to where are the people, period. Because it shouldn't be just Pan-Africans speaking out against this. It should be everybody. This should be a very clear, simple thing to understand. Children, young people, and no one should be raped. Pedophilia should not run rampant in societies. People that are organizers on boards of organizations or call themselves leaders or are doing any real type of work in the community, they should not be pedophiles, period. And usually what we're supposed to do is just reject that flat out because everybody can understand that. So that's where I also get a little confused with the thing about where the Pan-Africans, because it's just like, whoa. For me, it's like, you don't even need to be a Pan-African to speak out to this. What's more important, my question would be, where are the people in the vicinity of those people that are committing these acts? Where are they speaking out? And I think, that's really what it is. Everybody got to speak out where those things happen. I could speak out against pedophilia. Anybody can speak out against pedophilia. But the real test is what you going to do when it's in your neighborhood? What you going to do when it's on your block?
So it's already here in our neighborhoods. I know. So I'm in Chicago, right? It's a problem in this country, period, right? Because I remember when I was in high school, my little sister had friends, 14 years old, and they were dating guys 28. You know what I'm saying, and whatnot. Even now today, here in Chicago, people will tell you they got this thing in the summertime when it get warm. Girls start grouping up together, they hang out with their girls, they be walking the neighborhoods, and guys in cars, grown men, looking to get people they can prey on because these girls are very young and naive. They know they can get with them. They gonna get some cut real quick and real easy, and they don't have to worry about having a relationship with these guys. So it's a problem in this society that's bigger than just the Israelites and all that. There are also a lot of people who are against it. A lot of guys I know, friends I know, we don't agree with that. But more so societal wise, there has to be a principle established about what's accepted, what's not accepted. A 43-year-old man should not be with nobody, no teenager, 16, all that. I don't care if it's marriage and all that. It's not acceptable. It's just not. I wouldn't want I got a daughter that's 16 now. She's gonna be 17. I would be vehemently against her dating some dude 40-some years old, 30-some years old, even 20-some years old, because he's so I'm not saying knowledgeable as far as culture wise, but he knows he's more experienced, so he knows he can prey on a younger girl. He knows things she don't know. You see what I'm saying? Young girls are naturally attracted to older men because they got cars, they got jobs, they can buy them some shoes or whatever. You know what I'm saying? That's just what we got to teach our daughters better, more so than anything.
Agreed, bro. And it sounds, it sounds like we got an issue dealing with a lot of things, man. This thing, we don't like, a lot of people, I won't say we, but a lot of people don't like using the word patriarchy. But when you can take something and you're a male and you see that the overwhelming majority of these victims are females, right? I mean, it's possible that's not true because data is always a problem, collecting data from males. But we can go back to this, and I would say you pointed it's basically patriarchy to some degree, And
yeah, but how is it that the mothers not teaching their daughters this though? At the same time, I agree with you on I agree with you on as far as fathers protecting their daughters, but how is it that the mothers are not teaching their daughters these things?
Right, because mothers are also. I mean, we all indoctrinated into this system, man. I mean, even women operate as much. They speak out against it a lot. Men speak out against it a lot. It's a lot of people that speak out against it, but the reality of it is, in the world we live in right now, men run this thing as far as power and taking. You see, and what we can see from the data is that the overwhelming victims of rape are women. Now, it doesn't take much more than a desire to want something and the physical capacity to take it. Now there's some unique aspects of it where manipulation get involved, depending on who you are. But at the end of the day, you can use psychology. But at the end of the day, men been taking what they want physically for a long time. You see, and Kemites talked about that. I mean, what did they say? I mean, they say they came in, plundered, pillaged our villages, took our, what did they say about it? You see, so that's a behavior that nobody should really want. But I think our community, it's true what Shaka is saying. And it's not just Shaka, Pan-African James, what you're saying is true too. I think we all speaking facts on this, man. Enough people in our communities, especially within these religious organizations that are teaching this stuff. I mean, how do you go out on the corner and want to announce to everyone that you can that it's okay at 13? That is not an accident. And I think the more we put the importance on stating these kind of things, the more it shows we have a problem. Because these Hebrew Israelites, if they go to white communities, they're going to be slaughtered saying that stuff. They're in our community and we accept it because they look like us. So it's our problem primarily. The same thing.
Hold on. We don't accept it. No, that ain't. That's one of the. Hold on. That ain't why we accept it. We're in a situation where we can't police ourselves. So you can't do nothing. If you do go and do something to these people, you're going to jail. You know what I'm saying? What the response would be, it requires somebody going to jail. That's what it is. It ain't no real justice for people that really feel like we feel. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, we could just string them up right now. As far as I'm concerned, somebody messing with children, but you in somebody else's system, so you can't enact the laws that you want to enact upon them. You see what I'm saying? But anyway,
hold on.
I found the timestamp.
What's the timestamp
for you?
What's the timestamp?
It's the 109 mark. And what's significant about it is he talks about the difference between when Malcolm went to Mecca and then when he went to Mecca. And he's talking about the maturation of the thought. And then you look at his dress. He's not dressed like a Muslim, so he's in transition, Shaka. But he wound up getting killed. Anyway, like you act like, okay, I wonder what it was like when you was in transition, Shaka.
Brother,
I'm straight Kemet. No, that ain't how it went. You was still a Christian, and you was like, man, I don't know if I want to. If this is true, You know what I'm saying? That's how you was doing until you finally got the courage to say, I'm through with whatever I'm indoctrinated with. That's how it works, Shaka. Stop.
I'm gonna play that stuff, and like I presume it is the part where it says racism was so thick in Mecca that you can cut it with a knife. He didn't see what Malcolm see, but I'm gonna play 1 hour 9 minutes.
You don't want to play it though, but that's okay.
I will play it. You know, I'm a man of my
I know,
words.
but you're reluctant. You don't want to play anything where Pan-Africanism
well, you can
is shown
bait
in a
me,
good light.
but we will see. People will see if I keep my words or not. We are live, so you know my word is bond. But what I want to say is that the New Black Panther Party, which is one of the many Pan-African organizations, have not spoken out against those people who touch on babies, who were convicted for molesting babies. And when I talk about Pan-African organization, it's different than somebody that says, okay, I'm a Pan-African. Many people can say that. But we have organizations, black organizations, you know, and one who is very well known is the Uhuru movement, you know, headed by Omali Yeshitela. They don't call themselves Pan-Africans, but they are a black organization. Now, they have decided to create a special department, for lack of a better word, for LGBT people. It's their choice. They can do whatever they want, you know. But you have organizations and you have a leader. You have like a vice president or vice chairman. You have a treasurer. You have members. They pay a membership fee, and that helps the organization keep going. This is an organization. What we do online, that's not an organization, and that's a huge difference. Now let me play that video.
Man, you wild, Shock. You put some.
Did I say something wrong, brother? Did I say something wrong?
You said something about some LGBT.
Okay.
Like you, everything you do. Like nobody.
You said something wrong, bro. You said something wrong.
Okay, what did I say that's wrong?
That point that you stated, you said we can't police our own community. That's not the problem with this situation we're talking about. In NYC, among those groups and those people that Shaka has been raising the question about, people are not doing what you suggested. None of them are. They know who this guy is. They're not police. They're not even attempting to. They don't even want to tell you who it is, where they live, any of that stuff. And here's the thing. They also don't want to reject these people from their own circles openly. You see, that's what's going on. And that's what I mean by it's us, man. Our people aren't fully addressing this stuff. That's all I'm saying. But I do know that obviously we got laws to follow, but a lot of the things that we can do legally, we just don't do. Especially in that conscious community, we're protecting them.
And the New Black Panther Party, Malik Zulu Shabazz, they're running after the lady that caused the death of Emmett Till, but they cannot address somebody that was convicted for touching on babies. But anyway, let me play this video here of Khalid Abdul Muhammad.
Only way to get free, we got to get strong. This weak stuff is not going to do it. Don't go backwards, brothers and sisters. Don't let anybody take you backward. Don't go back. Integration has failed.
If I recall, I'm pointed out that while I was at Mecca,
No. It's white men. He saw the white men in Mecca. Malcolm have believed it.
Has driven racism from the Muslim society.
Malcolm might have believed it when he said that he saw white men in Mecca, and he saw them and they were some of the best white men he had ever seen, and that proved to him that if the white man in America received Islam, if the white man in America received Islam, he said, he thought that it could transform him. I've been to Mecca 8 times. See, God hooked me up right. I didn't get suspended from the nation and then go to Mecca. I had been 8 times before I got suspended. You know, God has a big eraser, you know. Working on the stuff that went down in the 60s, that's all the 90s is a 6 turn right side up, correct it. So I went before. I saw white Arab Muslims so damn racist until you can cut racism in the atmosphere with a knife. Give me just a few more minutes. You have no business taking taking Elijah Muhammad's teaching and now following Wallace D. Muhammad back to the cracker's arms and his clutches in Sunni Islam. So-called Sunni Islam, so-called Orthodox Islam cannot free you any more than Sunni Christianity or Orthodox Christianity of the white man after he distorted the message of Jesus, the black revolutionary Messiah. You go follow the Arabs, you don't know a damn thing about Islam. None of you. Yes, you can recite the Quran. Yes, you can recite the Bible. But do you know the real history?
See? Stop right there. Do he sound like a Muslim?
Yes, he did sound like a Muslim. He mentioned the teaching of Elijah Muhammad, and he mentioned Fard Muhammad, who's a white dude from India.
Man. I'm done.
Am I lying?
So ain't James, no way you can't. None of you act like you're not intelligent.
James, hold on.
That's crazy, Shaka.
Hold on, James.
You're doing Brother Reggie and them now.
Hold on. He implies that Black American Islam will be better. He's saying don't follow Arab Islam. He implies that Black American Islam.
No, he's not. He's
he
saying
did not
all
be
Islam.
say he's against Islam.
No, okay. If you listen to what he said the 9-6 turned upside down. What he's saying about the 90, they've seen everything they need to see about Islam, and Islam was no good for the African. That is what he was saying. He wasn't saying that he talked about Farad. He talked about the people that preceded him. He talked about Malcolm. He talked about the people that preceded him. He was talking about what they thought in the 60s was acceptable, but what they thought, what happened in the 90s, he had already seen the errors in it. And at this time, he's got Dr. Clark in his ear. That's why he's saying what he's saying. He's getting ready to leave that.
You're putting words into Khalid Abdul Muhammad's mouth. Now let's
no, I'm not.
Again. Let's listen again then.
Taking Elijah Muhammad's teaching, and you have no business taking Elijah Muhammad's teaching and now following Wallace D. Muhammad back to the cracker's arms and his clutches.
Stop right there.
So
he said you have no business following Elijah Muhammad's teachings. Why would he say
James,
that?
No, James. He said you have no business taking Elijah
Muhammad's man said it out his mouth.
He said taking Elijah Muhammad's teaching and then following Wallace D. Muhammad back to the area.
Rewind it, Shaka.
Okay, I'm going to rewind it.
Back to the Arabs, right?
Let's listen up. Let's listen up.
You have no business taking Elijah Muhammad's teaching and now following Wallace D. Muhammad back to the cracker's arms and his clutches.
And the brother Rashun L is right and exact.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah, that's what that's the context.
All right.
Yeah, that's the context. You're right.
So I'd appreciate
if
you take back all you
but keep
all those
going
times
and see
you
what he
said
say
I'm
about
being like Reggie because you were wrong. At least give me that.
No, the brother he's correct. Brother
yeah, no, but you said I was acting like Reggie as if I was misinterpreting what Khalid Muhammad was saying. Do you still think that I act like Reggie?
But no, you ain't played the whole thing though. No, hold on, but you ain't played the whole thing though. Don't stop it right there.
Okay, all right. Let me go back and you tell me when I want to stop. But for this few seconds of that gangster song, I'm gonna get flagged. I'm gonna get a copyright.
Past that, we already got that established.
In the atmosphere with a knife.
Yeah, we keep stopping and talking. That's good.
Give me just a few more minutes.
But you act like I didn't play it. You know what? I'm gonna do you a solid. That
Speed Malcolm back X, up to what we already said.
No, I'm going even further before just to make you happy. So this is Malcolm X here, and I'm gonna play it from there.
Malcolm might have believed it when he said that he saw white men in Mecca, and he saw them, and they were some of the best white men he had ever seen, and that proved to him that if the white man in America received Islam, If the white man in America received Islam, he said, he thought that it could transform him. I've been to Mecca 8 times. See, God hooked me up right. I didn't get suspended from the nation and then go to Mecca. I had been 8 times before I got suspended. You know, God has a big eraser, you know. Working on the stuff that went down in the 60s, that's all the 90s is a 6 turn right side up, correct it. So I went before. I saw white, Arab, Muslims so damn racist until you can cut racism in the atmosphere with a knife. Give me just a few more minutes. You have no business taking Elijah Muhammad's teaching and now following Wallace D. Muhammad back to the cracker's arms and his clutches in Sunni Islam. So-called Sunni Islam, so-called Orthodox Islam cannot free you any more than Sunni Christianity or Orthodox Christianity of the white man after he distorted the message of Jesus, the black revolutionary Messiah. You go follow the Arabs? You don't know a damn thing about Islam. None of you. Yes, you can recite the Quran. Yes, you can recite the Bible. But do you know the real history?
Hey, James.
You happy now, Brother James?
Yeah, go ahead.
James, let me ask you something, right? I don't know, was this speech, was that before or was that contemporary to the time when he started talking about he was a Moor?
I think he's going to mention that later off in here in this speech. He's going to say that he's all encompasses all of these teachings. You know what I'm saying? But
it wasn't that speech. It wasn't that speech. The one where he says the Moor, I think he had the uniform of the NBBP, but it wasn't that speech.
So the Moors are Muslims, right? They practice Islam, right?
No,
Right.
the Moors, no, they don't practice Islam. No.
Hold on. Okay, so I've been a member of the Moors.
I'm
Moors practice Islam. It's
in
I'm
America,
not saying they practice Orthodox Islam, but they proclaim that they're practicing Islam. You see what I'm saying?
It's Islamism. The question there, what is your religion? Right. Yes, it is. And they said they are not Muslims, that they are Muslim. So it is Islamic indeed, but keep going.
I completely agree. Completely agree.
Okay. Yeah.
So James. So he never said he was practicing any traditional African religion. He didn't say he was going to be Ifa and be praying to Abasala Ogun. He didn't say nothing about any African traditions at all. He had to still been Muslim, or at least.
No. You didn't. He didn't play the whole video. He didn't play the part to where he was talking about the origins and what he went back to.
Brother, I played the whole thing. I played the whole thing. After that, we have some music.
What's the time step on that thing?
Oh, okay.
Hold on, let me go past that because they started to talk about the Ka and the Ba.
No, my bad.
Yeah, they started to talk about the Ka and the Ba right there.
My bad. I made a mistake because you see when there was a music, the gangster music, I thought that was the end. They were going to move to something else, but
they just put some text.
So it is probably. I mean, I was wrong. It is probably in that one where he says that he's a Moor, and actually he has a uniform in that one that we've seen. But I don't feel like playing the whole thing because indeed he was a Muslim when he spoke then, and here on the screen.
Hold up.
But Pan-African chance, we're not going to play a whole lecture just to make a point.
Did you go to the next? Just go to the next one. No.
Okay. You know what? I'm gonna make you happy. I'm gonna make you happy. I will do that. I will play the after the music thing. I will play.
Not the entire video, just after the text.
No, it's only 9 minutes long. So I'm gonna play the whole thing. So everybody's gonna be happy.
I don't want you to play the whole thing. I just want you to play right after the. Man, I don't know why you're trying to make this so difficult, Shaka. Just get past the text to where he starts back talking again. That's all you got to do.
I will do that.
We don't want to see the text. We don't want to hear the music. We don't want to see the text. Just get back right after that where he starts to talk. Okay, that's all I'm asking.
I'm going to do that. But just before I do that, Khalid Abdul Muhammad said that he's been to Mecca 8 times before he got suspended. So the 7 times before he didn't notice the racism, and he still went some other time, or was it just the last time that he saw the racism? That's something to think about. Now let me play it.
No, I'm pretty sure he recognized it. That was just him recognizing.
So why did he go another 7, 8 times then? Because he was a Muslim.
Yeah, of course.
So there it is. So don't try to make him a non-Muslim then.
Listen.
Do you know that the Kaaba in Mecca that sits there as the spiritual center? Do you know that the Kaaba, when you study the ancients of your own people, not the damn Arabs, you sit around the mosque and the masjid glorying in Arab history, Arab scholarship, Arab warriors and Arab stories, and when so-and-so did this, and Abu so-and-so, and Kareem so-and-so, and Abdullah so-and-so, and Muhammad did so. Shut your damn mouth. Study your own history. If you study your own history, you will know that the Kaaba that sits as the spiritual center of the Islamic world has a root in your African mama and your African daddy and your African great-grandmother and great-grandfather and down the line. When you study the Medu nectar of ancient Egypt or Kemet, you will know that the Ka and the Ba represents the spirit and the soul, that the real Kaaba in Mecca is not a house built by people there, but the real Kaaba I'm looking at, it's you, black man. You are that black ancient house of God. You are the Ka.
Okay, you can stop it now, Shaka. You ain't got to say, you ain't got to play no more. Go ahead, stop.
You are the.
I know you didn't want to play that. You didn't want to play the whole thing. Just you can stop it now. I was
going to play it, but you asked me to stop.
I mean, that's okay. We don't need to. I mean, y'all. But hey, you got the link. Y'all can watch that at y'all own discretion. But like I said, the brother was in transition. He was in transition, just like many of us that got indoctrinated. You cannot say that he was going to be stuck there forever. Just like we not stuck where we at forever. We all came out of something, brother. So don't sit up and just because he got killed at a certain time in his life, you can't say what would have happened to him 10 to 20 years later. Just like what happened to us.
But brother, you see, we're
going
from what is Pan-Africanism. Then first you said that there was no Muslim and Hebrew Israelites among Pan-Africans.
That's why he shifted. You see him shifting right now.
He did not shift. Maybe you're not familiar with. Okay, well, you have the right to say that. We have the right to disagree. But he was still a Muslim there, and he spoke about other African deities before as an introduction. He was trying to embrace what our people are into, but his faith was Islam. We cannot change that, otherwise we will do romanticizing.
Right.
But
I heard what you just said.
Shaka. So when I see that part, it does sound like he was in his transition.
I heard what the man said.
He was not in his. How you guys can say that?
So would a Muslim say what he's saying? Hold up. Would a Muslim say what he's saying, Shaka, right there?
He was not an Orthodox Muslim. He was not an Orthodox Muslim. He was not. The Nation of Islam doctrine, they will not teach it in Saudi Arabia because they would die. You see?
Exactly.
That's why you guys
that don't make him not a Muslim because he wasn't practicing Orthodox Islam. That don't make him
okay. So let me get this straight. Both of you are saying that he was in his transition just because you heard that speech. So you are in his mind and you know what he thought. So basically, if he lived another 2 years, then he would have been Kemetic, right?
Person's mind. No, you cannot. I don't believe I can know what somebody else is thinking. What I will say is, okay. First of all, let me say this: he's not a scholar, for one thing. So we can tell that he reads books or whatever, but he's not a deep researcher like you or Smash, something like that. So. He's on a surface level with his research. But what I will say,
hold on. Okay, I'm going to show you the book. Go ahead.
What I can see from this part of the video, and I need to watch the rest of it or whatever. I've watched Khaled before, but it does appear that he's trying to say he said it. Study your own traditions. Get back into Africa. He said he just gave Kemet as an example.
And he gave reference to the Ka and the Ba, and what he had learned. He got indoctrinated, and he thought the Ka and the Kaaba was the thing. But then once Dr. Clark got in his ear, he started to learn that, hey man, this is the enemy. This is the enemy's religion, and he started to discard it. I see you got the Book of Khaled, the Book of Khaled, right?
Yeah, but just because the Ka and the Ba is our
no, what he's saying is true.
Our characters in Kemet doesn't mean that the Kaaba in Arab the name comes from Kemet. That's pseudo.
Right.
All right. And as I wrote, because some people will use that, oh, he said that about Khalid Muhammad. I wrote Kaaba Medunecha compared with the Kaaba of Mecca is linguistic acrobatics. I've said that for years. I've never seen Ka and Ba together. Ka means spirit. Most of the time it's translated as spirit. Ba is translated as soul most of the time.
Right,
so Ka, Ba, that would be spirit, soul. I have yet to see that. I'm not saying it doesn't exist. I haven't seen that. Kaaba means cube. So that is linguistic gymnastics, you see. And he was good friends with Ashwa Kwesi. So probably he got information about Kemet from Ashwa Kwesi. Ashwa Kwesi was living in Texas once. So with all due respect to Khalid Abdul Muhammad, I appreciated him, but on this one, I do not agree with the Kaaba. But
I wouldn't say I agree with that part of it.
All right. Okay,
I'm just talking about what he was trying. You see, he was trying, and just think about this is in the early '90s. I wonder what you were doing in the early '90s. What was Shaka Adu Kemet? Hold on, what was you doing in 1992, Shaka? Answer the question,
brother. Just for the record, the brother Rashun said that he was no scholar. But Malik Zulu Shabazz, if I'm not mistaken, talks about Khalid Abdul Muhammad gaining his PhD in Africa.
Oh,
so to say,
I'm wrong.
Just for the record, because you see, that's what's happening. We are romanticizing Khalid to fit a narrative, and we should not do that. That's my issue, and people don't have to agree with me. But
so I know. Say that again. He gained his PhD where?
In Africa. Now I don't remember which country, but that's in the book of Khalid.
In Africa?
Yes. I cannot tell you the page number. I mean, you know what? I made some notes, so maybe I have the page number somewhere.
I
made some notes.
Well, if you said he did, I guess. I don't know.
Well, there's even a part
about how these degree things is going up, and then back then, they said, Dr. Ben embellished on his resume, so you need to be careful with that particular claim with the way things are going. But like I said, if you were to play the totality of that video and put it into context, the brother was on the move. I mean, he was not stuck in Islam.
So this is the thing.
As a matter of fact, the same thing with Malcolm. Malcolm was on the move. Malcolm was on his way to Africa. That's why they killed Malcolm. They killed Malcolm because he embraced Pan-Africanism. They didn't kill him because he was a Muslim.
That video, the deficiencies in that video, right? The deficiencies in that video, right? What people did back then is always do like that. The Ka and the Ba, they don't show sources. You know what I'm saying? They hardly have a presentation, PowerPoint, nothing like that. And that's the problem I have. So when I say that he's not a scholar, I don't know if he got a PhD or not. The brother said in the book. I don't know if we can verify it or not. I don't know. But I'm looking from what I see on the video. I wouldn't put him as a scholar. Maybe he have a degree. I could be wrong. I'm okay with being wrong. It's not a problem.
Well, Khalid Muhammad and
he was very he was very educated. He was like he had some reward in some debate team, So he was very, very educated, and he was also a Mason or Shriner, if people prefer. And I showed that in my video, Deception of Asiatic Black Men. A lot of people don't know that.
Anybody doubting his intelligence only has to watch the Donahue show interview.
And I'm not doubting his intelligence. I'm talking about scholars, right?
Yeah, scholarly intelligence. If you watched the Donahue interview, you will know that he's a scholar.
Scholars usually do presentations or do essays and
but once again, right? It's in that book, and Malik Zulu Shabazz, the author of that book, stated that he earned his PhD. So if we want to, let's find out, is it true or not? Maybe we will never know the truth, but that's what was stated for the record. So if he had a PhD, I don't think we can say that he was not a scholar. He had beliefs. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody's perfect. People make mistakes. Back in 2008, I said Su 10. But it's Nesut. I didn't know that.
We
And
all
scholars,
did.
yeah, scholars in
Oh,
Egyptology
hey.
didn't know that back then. They
So
didn't know
let me
about.
ask you a question. Let me ask you, okay, because I've only been learning the Metal Nation since like 2012, right? And I seen you talk to Kayas on Sinetta. So how do we get to the point of knowing that Sutin is actually Nesut?
We know this because of the grammar. That Sedge, which by itself stands for Su, SW, is placed first out of respect. That's what they call the honorific inversion or honorific transposition. So out of respect, because it denotes the king, they place it first, just like they do with the name of Netcher or a deity. It is placed first, but not read first. You see, and James P. Allen breaks that down in his book Middle Egyptian as well. So,
okay, but so why they don't do that with like Ramisu? Whenever you see
because in the name Ramses, Ra comes first. So in this case, there's no honorific inversion or honorific transposition.
Well, okay,
but
but
for Akhenaten, it is done. Yes, okay. Feel free to ask your question, brother.
I'm confused. I thought the if a deity is in the name, that goes like in Menkara, right? Kepera, right? I thought the Ra goes at the end, but in Ramisu, Ra is always in the beginning. You see what I'm saying?
I'm going to show you, brother. It's going to be easier this way.
All right.
I'm looking for the slide where we have the name Ramses. Now, let me share the screen. Oh, but yeah, it's annoying. I'll have to reduce the window. Now it appears. No, it doesn't appear. What the heck's going on? I don't like when it does that. Okay, let me make it larger then. I hate when it does that. On the Mac, I don't know what they want, but I don't see the keynote. It was there and then it disappeared. Hold on. Every time you want to show something, it's always like that. Oh, you know what? It's okay. I'm going to open it online. I'm going to open it online, so then you open the tab. It might take a little bit of time, but okay, so open, preview or open with Google Slides. The file is too large to open. Please try a small file. The preview.
Go to Wiki.
No, I want to show from my slide, so current preview, the file is too large. Okay, I'm going to close Keynote and open it again because I don't know why it's playing with me right now. So let me open it. It's going to take a little while to load. Oh, you know what? I was tripping. I have my other computer here, so it's going to be sorted in a few seconds. Pourquoi, chérie?
Yeah, but you haven't
Chérie, tu
noticed
sais que j'ai fait un live là, tu sais que je fais un live là? Et alors quoi? Attends. Hold on 1 second.
Yeah, but every time.
Hold on. Wife is tripping right now. Hold on.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah, I'm like, but if you have to notice, brother, like, when they leave, I don't know if it's just me and you here. Is the other brother still here?
He left. He said he coming back.
Oh no, I was talking about you. I can't see you.
Oh yeah, I'm still here. My bad.
Yeah, so if you look at what happens to both Malcolm and Khaled after they get expelled or get kicked out of the nation, they go straight to Pan-Africanism strictly. Have you paid attention to that?
I have. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Because that was really what they were before they got indoctrinated with Islam. So after they find out that that's another enemy religion, they came home to African spirituality. If you look at the wiki on Malcolm, I'm not sure. Are you aware of the Organization of African American Unity that he started after he left the nation?
Yeah.
He started that as a Pan-African. He started that as a Pan-African organization with Dr. Clark.
But he was Muslim, brother. He was Muslim. I mean, maybe it's going to take time for you to admit that your opinion is wrong.
It's going to take you time to understand that people.
I shown and prove everything I said. You did not.
Just because you used to be a Christian. Hold up, you used to be a Christian at one time, Shaka?
You're talking about what I used to be. I'm not.
I'm
and Malcolm
that's
was
what,
not
that's what I'm
until
saying.
he
This is
died.
what I'm saying.
I
This is
mean,
what I'm saying.
Everybody can hear you.
If you were a Christian, hold on, listen, Shaka. If you were a Christian, you when you first left Christianity for the first 2 or 3 years, people still would have assumed that you were a Christian, even though you were leaving that faith.
All right. So now, are you saying
That's
that
what I'm
Malcolm X
trying
was
to
not
tell
a
you.
Muslim
You're
also
not
before he
even
died?
taking into account what you're seeing.
But brother, are you now saying that Malcolm X also was no longer a Muslim?
Okay, let me share my screen. Hold on, let's go back and let's go back and do this. Let's go. Okay, when you get done doing
just
this,
answer the question. Are you saying that Malcolm X was not a Muslim before he died?
That's crazy. Go ahead and share what you're sharing, and I'll share what I'm gonna share.
Why is it so hard to answer a simple question, Brother Pan-African James?
Go ahead.
Why is it so hard to answer a simple question?
Because you're not being fair with what your assessment of when someone is leaving a situation, and you start to see that play out, but you totally discard Malcolm was not saying anything about Africa before he left the nation. He never spoke about Africa. He starts to speak about Africa. He goes to Africa after he leaves the nation.
You know, he went to Africa when he was a member of the Nation of Islam, so he spoke on Africa. But anyway, you don't have to answer the question. I'm not going to force you. Now let me deal with the honorific inversion. So it's not let me move up this. Okay, I'm gonna have to share it again. Then I don't know what's going on. There must be some Christian apology spirit here.
Are we right here?
I cannot move the stuff. What
the?
I can
go Pan-Africanism.
You're breaking up, but I hear you making jokes. Escape. No, okay. I'm gonna do Control-Alt-Delete. There's some Christian apology.
This is serious, man.
Christian apologist vibe right now.
It ain't got nothing to do with Christianity. Ain't no Christians on the panel, Shaka.
So what are you saying, Pan-African James? What are you saying? Is the spirit of Pan-Africanism?
Because you going against the ancestors. This is what happens.
I'm going against the ancestors. Pan-African James, you're bugging right now. You're bugging so hard.
Yeah, you bugging. That's me. That's you. You the one bugging. But anyway, let me share my screen.
Wait, hold on. Let's go in order. I'm just re-uploading.
See, you don't want me to get it in on you. That's the same.
You like to say that, but I always let you address what you want to address. You see that I was trying to share, but for a strange reason, I couldn't move my stuff. So,
bro, we just having a conversation. I mean, I'm not tripping.
Here, I know, but sometimes it sounds like it though. So here, okay. So, okay, now I can move. Now it's working. The Christian apology spirit, it works a few seconds. It doesn't work all the time. So whatever you try to do in life, brothers and sisters, sometimes, you face adversity, just keep on going and it will work, because if you work all the time, they will have the world under control, and we've seen what happened to the Dagger Squad. The Christian apology spirit just collapsed. There it is. You see, Brother Rashun L?
I got it.
Here we have the Ra glyph first, and then we have the Heper and the Ka. So Ra is placed first out of respect, but it is not pronounced first. So here it is read Keper Kara, you see? But for Ramses or Ramesu.
Hold on, you went too fast. I could go back.
Yeah, but no, he knows the deal. So now here, for example, we have another case. We have
he already know how to read, and I don't know how to read. You went too fast.
I'm giving classes. It's $10 per class.
You got
slow down.
So here, E10, and then we have the Ak. Now this is the determinative for E10, right?
Right.
And this is Ak, so this is the phonetic complement, and then we have the N. So it is read Ak N E10. E10 is placed first out of respect, you see.
Okay.
But when we look at Ramesu, here we have Ramesu. It doesn't show too clearly, but here we have the Ra, because we can tell with the sun disk on top of the head. Can you see it?
It looked like the R, but okay. Okay, I see the dot in the middle.
I have a clearer one. One somewhere. I think it's a vase. It's a pot. There it is. Here.
Okay.
here we have the Ra, and this glyph here is that one there.
Right.
So we know it's Ra because of the sun
determinative. Right.
No, well, it can be a determinative, but this glyph by itself, that's Ara, you see.
Okay.
It's just like this glyph by itself is Ma'at because she has a feather, you see. So we have Ra here. Then you know that glyph, do you here? This biliteral.
Who is
that's me?
That above him?
MS,
MS,
right? Yes. Yeah. And then you know that one here, the folded cloth, right?
That's the S.
Exactly. So that's a phonetic complement because we already have the sound S. And do you recognize that glyph here, that biliteral?
Yeah, that's the Su. That's the SU.
Exactly. That's exactly. So that spells Ra Mesu. You see?
Right.
So we have Ra first, and it is pronounced first because that's the order in the name. You see? And that Su glyph by itself, maybe you haven't seen it yet, but you can have just that single glyph for Nesu, for the king.
Right, yeah.
That's why. Yeah,
okay, okay, stop. Hold on. Okay, so Ra is first in the Shin, right? That's Ra.
Yes. Yeah, it is read first. Now, yeah.
And it's Ra first in the other one you just showed me, right?
Which other one?
The first one.
Stop right there.
Say it again. James just said something.
Yeah, what did you say, James? We can't hear you now, so I think
I'm at the top right there. Is that Amen?
Well, we do have Imen. It is not spelled
at the top.
Now this is Imen here, or Amen, as we say in English. But Rashun, I don't know exactly which other one were you talking about?
First one you sent with the Ra Keper, the
Kara. Yeah, I will show it. So here, for example, we have Ma'at. Now this is the original artifact here. And that's the reference here, reference C2 from the Louvre Museum, and that's 1900 BC. So this is 3,900 years old. Now at the bottom, I have the hieroglyphic transcript. For the sake of clarity, because it's early in the class, I've made it to be read from left to right, but on the original, it is read from right to left. So this is probably the fullest spelling of Ma'at, and here we do have the determinative. But the determinative by itself stands for Ma'at as well, you see, just like with the Ra. And there it is, Keper Kara, you see. So that's the original here. We have the reference for the original, reference E2900. This is at least 1800 BC. So this is 3,800 years old. And we have the Ra first, then we have the Keper, and then we have the Ka. But it is not read Ra Keper Ka. It is read.
So that's what I'm saying. So with this, the rule is broken because Ra is first in the Shin when we read it. But we pronounce Ra last on the name. But with Ra Misu, Ra is first in the Shin, but we pronounce it first. You see what I'm saying?
The rule is not broken because you see here Ra is placed first, and when we translate Keper Kara, one proposition could be manifesting the soul of Ra, or maybe manifestation of the soul of Ra, because not the soul, the spirit. I've put soul, but spirit, soul, but let's say spirit. I might change that actually. I might change that slide if I remember. So Keper means to become or to manifest, and maybe a few other derivatives. So the translation will be manifesting or manifestation of the spirit of Ra, you see. And when we have Ramesu, that we call Ramses in English, the meaning will be born of Ra, or Ra gave him birth, or Ra gave birth to him, you see. Okay. So when we translate, that's what it means. That's why it is placed first. It is read first, because in that particular case, it comes first. So it makes sense in terms of grammar and syntax.
Okay, I got you. Okay, all right.
Yeah. But brothers and sisters, I'm gonna go to a fair bit of artifacts. It's been 6 months. I did not show any Mother Nature artifacts, but I've started the other day, and I was glad there was 3 brothers. There was Donnie Williams. There was a young brother, Jason, who's 23. And the other brother, please forgive me, I forgot the other brother's name. It might come back to me. But there were 3 people participating in the Mother Nature. I'm not saying there were 3 people online, but 3 brothers were reading the glyphs with me. And I have plenty of pictures from museum artifacts. And I'm planning on just showing some and going through them. So everybody that studied the Mother Nature, feel free to join us. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. So we're gonna go through all these artifacts. Now the other brother was who was the other brother? I'm looking for his name now. Jason, Donnie, and who was the other brother? It was well, Blaya came, Born FOG came, but there was another brother. Was it Goodfellanella? I think it was that master. But please forgive me. There was another brother as well who was reading along with us. You know.
Right. Yeah, I'm gonna subscribe and whatnot.
Yeah. But those who are interested about the classes, like I said, oh, somebody else is on the panel. Hold on. Well, Babylon, don't feel free to speak, brother.
Babylon.
Hey, peace, Shaka and Dougal. How you doing,
Peace,
brother?
I'm chilling. How about yourself?
I just tried to re-sign up for the thing. It still didn't let me do it, bro. So I'm gonna click the link on the YouTube page and do it.
Yeah, feel free.
Did you hear me?
Yeah, I heard you. Those who are interested in learning the meta nature, you have my oh no, there's too many. I'm gonna delete all that. I'm gonna do it again.
Hey, what book do you suggest, Shaka, for me to get my knowledge base down on parsing?
Oh, parsing, you know, don't trip about parsing. Just read, you know, this book here, by Being Manly.
Okay.
You know, Egyptian hieroglyphs for complete beginner. I think it's one of the best because it shows you to read directly from original artifacts. A lot of people read the hieroglyphic transcript. Being Manly, Bill like Bill Clinton, and then Manley, Manley.
All right.
You know, a lot of people get that one, which is not bad, but I think for a beginner, and actually the other one, he's a co-author as well. So a lot of people get that one. It's a bestseller. This one is written with Mark Collier, but this one really I would say is better. You know, but then you know if people don't mind spending $10 for a class, then you have my email address here. You know what I'm saying? And just contact me and give me your and I'm talking to everybody, not one person in particular. Just give me your availabilities. Tell me which time slots you will be available, and then when we agree, then we can get this thing cracking. You know. But feel free to add on, brothers. If nobody has anything else to say, I'm ready to go through the comments, and then I guess maybe call it a day because it's been 2 hours and a half. So if you have any questions, feel free to take advantage. You know.
Well, Shaka, I wanted to say something to you about just about Elijah Muhammad. I heard you mention that Khalid Muhammad was a Mason, Shriner, and whatever.
Yes.
True. Malcolm, same thing. Okay.
I don't know about that, but I'm listening.
I wanted to know, did you know about the Masonic lore? The reason why you don't know about that is because the Nation of Islam itself is a temple, is a lodge. That's what I'm saying. Like in America, we respect the Nation of Islam has been a part of a lodge, like Noble Drew Ali as well. Now I know the things that were said about them, but they were considered.
When you say the temple is a lodge, what do you mean? Because they wear fezzes?
No, bro. Okay, let me say this. No, Noble Drew Ali set up a temple. It's an official temple.
Right.
Elijah Muhammad set up an official lodge. It's a lodge. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, but Noble Drew Ali's organization is a religious organization. It's incorporated under the religious chapter in the Illinois laws, the Illinois compiled statutes. Fraternal orders like lodges they're not organized under the Religious Corporation Act. They're organized as a fraternity. It's two different things. Even though they go in the same corporate books in the county recorders of Chicago, they're not the same. They're not lodges. The temples is not a lodge.
But you know some organization will register themselves as religious, so they will pay less taxes. You know what I'm saying? But
I can't hear the brother. I see him talking, but I'll say this though: when it's when you say it needs to be not incorporated or 501c3, that's only one aspect. Even
I didn't say 501c3. You did. I didn't say 501c3. The North Central American
can I finish?
501d.
Can I finish, brother?
Sure.
I just want to finish. That's all. So I'm saying you didn't mention the word 501c3, but you mentioned that
you did.
I'm saying that you did not mention it. Right? That's true, right? I know I did, and I'm saying that you did not mention it. So that's the same thing, brother. So I'm not on here to argue or to go back and forth with silliness. I'm trying to make a statement, and I didn't interrupt you. So what I'm saying is that the word lodge, as other people may determine it or calculate it in a book or according to where other people define a lodge, that's not what Elijah Muhammad, that's not what Khalid Muhammad, that's not what Malcolm X, that's not what none of them was originally about, conforming to the present system and being under their charter and calling it a lodge. So these people were basically using the resources that they had in order to move around in a system that would lock you up if you didn't pay taxes and if you didn't have buildings and stuff. So to establish their lodges, they had to do other things. But nonetheless, like Khalid Muhammad said straight up, I'm originally of the real deal from Egypt, not this Arab thing right here. The real deal, where the mother and father of it is from, is Kemet. And that's where I'm pointing my people to, and that's where I'm pointing myself to. So you can't put your postmodernized definition or interpretation on what these people were doing back then. I agree with Shaka Nduga when he said that although we don't agree with a grown man, 40-some years old, dating a 16-year-old woman, the fact that it was done in court and everybody publicly accepted it and it was legal, we have to move on from that. We can't change that. That's the laws. That's the way it is. Now, if we don't like Noble Drew Ali, because I'm not here to go to bat for them. Like, I know Noble Drew Ali was into some Turkish stuff and into some other stuff. I know that Elijah Muhammad did some of the stuff they said. So what's the big deal? But nevertheless, when it comes to this Pan-African thing, you cannot deny that these brothers were trying to do something very African, and they were not caught up so much in the Muslim Arab thing, because Khalid Muhammad basically told you the Kaaba that they at is really something that's African. That's all he was saying, that the Kaaba is African. Whether it's pseudo that he said is Ka and Ba and spirit and soul, only thing he was saying was that it's African, and it leads back to your mothers and father in Egypt. And they all believe that because it's Ishmael, it's Kedar, and all these people are African. I'll stop right there.
Can I respond?
Well, yeah, feel free to respond, Russian. Yeah.
All right. So, like I said, you brought up the 501c3, and I correct you saying it's not a 501c3. You said lodge, and there's no way you can find anywhere what Drew Ali said it was a lodge. He was wrote about saying that he was an Egyptian adept. And even in his literature, when you find it, it will point you towards Egypt. But still in all, he was trying to teach people who were coming out of slavery, who had a very low education, how to leave Jesus and go into a different way. But it's never been, it's not a lodge. They're not organized as a lodge. I mean, I'm here in Chicago where the paperwork is. I've seen it. I've been a part of it. I've been an actual head of the organization. I'm recording in the county downtown. I could pull it up if I wanted to right now online. It's not a lodge. It's you can research it yourself. It's not hard.
Yeah, so what Babylon Don is saying is that based on circumstances, our ancestors were dealing with things and trying to get out of Christianity that we were indoctrinated with. So what this brother did, he brought in something that we never heard of, and our people pretty much bid on it, thinking that was the next thing at that time.
Agreed.
You know what I'm saying? You can't fault people for trying to get out of a horrendous situation and thinking that maybe this is it. You know what I'm saying? But we got the fortitude to look at 2023 and say that we're moving out of, we've moved past that. That's all I've been trying to tell Shaka this whole time. We've moved past that, and it's identified probably around, I would say, when Dr. Clark and them come along. That's when we move past.
Pan-Africans, yes. When you say we, who are you talking about? Like the
African
50
people
100
in general.
Yeah, well,
I don't agree with that.
People in general did not move past that. The majority of black people are Christian.
Okay, well then watch this. Watch this. Hold on. Let me show y'all something. Then. Okay. So this is what we gonna do. I mean, I know y'all don't like to just think outside of what you've been indoctrinated with, but it's a record of this stuff that went on. And see, when you start to pull up records like this, people don't want to see it. So this is Malcolm a year before he died. This is the organization that he creates, right? And this is what it says. It says the Organization of African American Unity, the OAAU, was a Pan-Africanist organization. See the red, black, and green popped up? Founded by Malcolm X in 1964. The OAAU was modeled on the Organization of African Unity, which is the African Union today. See, because this is when they were just coming out of colonialism, this is what they formed. So in America, we said, okay, we need to form this to be in unison with our mother country, which is what what Brother Reggie and Ankh them is against. They're against us uniting with Africa. But anyway, it says
James,
which
where
was
does
inspired.
it say? Where does it say that is for non-Abrahamic believers?
You're not trying to listen. Hold on, let me just finish. Let me just get down here then, so you would understand what's going on. It says Malcolm X, along with John Henry Clark, wrote the following of the organization. But let me just read right here where it also says, in a memo dated July the 2nd, 1964, FBI Director J. Edgar Hoover described the nuance of the OAAU as a threat to the national security of the United States. So when he created this, J. Edgar Hoover said that was a threat to the United States. Now watch this. When I click this he wrote that. Hold on, let me go back. He wrote.
Yeah, but
J. Edgar Hoover wrote that.
we don't need to go through all.
Hold on. Let me finish. July the 2nd, he wrote that Malcolm X, when he formed the OAAU, was a threat to the United States. July the 2nd, 1964. Let's see when Malcolm dies. So he was a Muslim that whole time and he was living. Let's see when he dies. He dies February the 21st, 1965. So within 6 months, Malcolm was dead after forming a Pan-African organization. So that I'm going to stop right there because Islam is not the threat. Pan-Africanism is the threat. Everybody in the Islamic movement is still living.
All right. Well, I don't have any.
They didn't die by a bullet or nothing.
In 1929. Okay, so in 1928, matter of fact, let's go to 1928. May of 1928, Drew Ali went to the Pan American Conference, and the issue was he was trying to get a Moorish nation recognized by signing on to the convention, the treaty. Nations are formed by signing the treaty. Morocco made the United States a nation by signing a treaty with them. He come back, and then the following year he died in 29 July. So before Malcolm X was killed, when he was killed, Drew Ali was killed in 29.
How was he killed? What happened to him? I'm unaware.
The death certificate say tuberculosis or something like that, pneumonia and tuberculosis, but he
died in jail.
We're talking about 29.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
saying? So well, all I can say is that in all those articles that we've seen, nowhere does it say that Pan-Africans are non-Abrahamic believers. It says nowhere that Pan-Africans are not Muslim, not Hebrews, not Christians, and that's my point,
And
people have the right.
Shaka.
Yeah.
My point is, if you go look on the definition of Pan-Africanism, it doesn't say that they are.
Yeah, but it doesn't say that they are not. So you have your own definition.
But you saying it says nowhere that says it doesn't, and I'm saying there's nowhere that says that it does. That's all.
But you know what's funny, Pan-African James, is that organization that you showed, Malcolm X organization, was headed by a Muslim guy called Malcolm X or Malik Shabazz.
Mm-hmm.
So when you say it doesn't say that he's not, he was a Muslim. He doesn't have to say that it is not the case, because it was the case that Muslims, Christians, Hebrew Israelites, whatever their religious affiliation, they were all welcome. Just like the pedos are welcome in those organizations. If somebody who likes to have sex with 9-year-old girls go to this organization, they are welcome, because until we see any statement publicly that says that they're not rocking with that, then it's clear that they're accepted. And I gave an example already of, once again, Molefe Asante's organization, the guy who is known for Afrocentricity. His organization gave a trophy to a serial rapist. Don't be mad at me. Don't shoot the messenger. Now, V Bennett, how's that download coming?
Yeah. Okay, let me check it. I wanted to say something. Let me just check it right now. The download. Boom, boom, boom.
Because mine keeps stopping, and I keep restarting it. Yes.
It seemed like it stopped.
It's the same with me. It keeps stopping.
Now it's going again.
That's because Sinetta deleted it probably.
No. It's still on. It's still on.
Now it's downloading again. No, it said error, man. Hold on. Now it said error. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stop this one, the active one, and I'm gonna tell it to start again. I'm gonna restart that entire process just to make sure. But I just wanted to say this about you and Brother James's discussion here. Like I was saying in the beginning, I think it's worthy discussion because there's a lot of elements that going to come out of this, and I agree with Pan-African James. Like I said in the beginning, but I wasn't even clear enough. Nobody who is not African descent wants Pan-Africanism. Pan-Africanism affects everybody else in what many view as a negative way. You see, and so what's happened, what I see is happening. Did I put the download in? Yeah, download normal. What I see is happening is with Pan-Africanism is different entities attack it in different ways, succinctly, continuously. And they, why they do it and who they are, it's not just Europeans. That's what I'm saying. It affects everybody. We got to just look at it rationally and don't point the fingers. Who does Pan-Africanism affect? And why would they support it if it affects them negatively? But I think y'all need to have this discussion. It need to be a whole day.
We had the discussion already. We went to sources, so he made his point, I made my point, and it is what it is.
This ain't nowhere near over with if you're gonna keep that up. I'm telling you.
It ain't over with me either, because it's not over with me either, because there's points that I agree with both of y'all.
It is
points that I don't.
So much stuff that happened.
Well, but okay, Pan-African James. So are you maintaining that Pan-African organization don't have Christians and Muslims and Jews, Hebrews, or Israelites? Are you maintaining that?
What I'm maintaining, Shaka, is as we learn, we discard bullshit. We are people that came out of slavery and didn't know our history. And in 1920 or 22, when this was formed, we were fresh out of slavery, Shaka. So of course we had. Hold on, 1922. Hold on.
No, let's talk about 2023, brother, because you like to do that. And you talk about chronology. You talk about
we got to do the chronology of it.
No, okay. Here's a simple question to you: when Malcolm X died, was he a Muslim? Yes or no?
Yes, he was a Muslim in transition.
Okay, all right. Okay.
I'm going to say that. He was a Muslim. I'm not going to lie to you and say he wasn't, but he was a Muslim in transition. Would you agree with that? See what I'm saying? You ain't going to even give him that.
I don't know if he was.
You're going to say he was a straight Muslim and he was never going to change. That's basically what you're saying.
I cannot say that. I don't know what he was going to do. I cannot, I'm not in his mind.
So when you start to see a man's actions changing before he dies,
it doesn't matter, brother, because you can put that on everybody. Then you can say that all the Muslims, all the black Muslims in the world were in transition. That's romanticizing. But it's okay.
Say what?
It's okay. You can say that regarding any black Muslim. You can say, well, he was in transition,
Okay, let me ask all these other brothers. Let me ask them a question real quick.
Well, and I'm
hey, brother, Babylon Don.
No, please. Listen. Pan-African James, please listen to me.
I know.
Listen to me. It is 11:33 a.m. I woke up in the early hours, and I was on Sinetta. I spent I don't know how many hours. Then I spent like 3 hours nearly here. You know what I'm saying? So, please allow me to at least put an end to the live stream. I'm live streaming on a regular basis. Cool. Yes, I might live stream
again.
I think I will live stream today at 4:30 EST or maybe 5 p.m. EST. I think I will do a live stream.
To be continued, Shaka. To be continued.
No. Y'all should announce what the live stream is, before you go, everybody can chime in on it. It's a good dialogue on the Pan-Africanism. It's very relevant.
It really is. And I didn't get a chance to say what I want to say about it.
Okay,
I don't
well,
mean today. I mean at a further point, so y'all can really have this dialogue. It's important dialogue, man. Y'all having about the
it is important. It is, and not just Pan-Africanism, but any other issues. Now, what I'm proposing, so everybody get the chance to speak. I'm proposing to let everybody make their closing remarks, and we can go clockwise. So we start with Russian L, then Pan-African James, then Babylon Dunn, then V Bennett, and I will close out. So Russian L, please feel free to make your closing remarks.
I really don't have much to say. I thought I really don't. I think you two arguing about. I think y'all missing each other's. I think y'all really not arguing about something. I really think y'all not saying the same thing, but I think y'all just missing certain things. As far as what James just said about the transitioning, to me, he showed evidence that two people only, Dr. Khalid Muhammad and Malcolm X, they left the organization of being Muslims and they seem to be transitioning to African traditions.
Thank you. Pan-African James, feel free to make your closing remarks, brother.
Well, like I said, when we lump everybody into, pedophilia, homosexuality, or whatever you want to call it, all of these things that Africans are trying to fight against, I think that that's a dangerous thing to do. I mean, if you want to deal with the individuals, that's cool. But when we start to, make blanket statements about particular people that are good people, people that have died for the liberation of our people, I don't think that that's a good way to go. So with that said, it's Pan-African to perish, and I'll see you soon, Shaka.
Pan-African James, just for your information, this is the link to the live stream. Pan-Africanism includes the gay struggle, Black Power meets LGBT. I show all the sources, all the links, and the Hero movements. Indeed, the African Socialist Party, they have a special department for LGBT people. This is them who said it. It's not me. I'm not hating. They have the right to do whatever they want, But I always source up what I'm saying. And I know in the conscious community, people are not used to that. They're used to people saying, I have a bachelor's degree in history, and they take it for face value. But I always source up what I say. So
that's a low blow, Shaka.
At who? A low blow at who?
Man, this man interjected some homosexuality into African spirituality, to an African.
It don't even.
We know who God. We know. Hold on. We know who the Ghazi guy is. Soon as they started that stuff, we discarded them.
No, you discarding them, brother. You are discarding them.
Hold on. I didn't say. I didn't say I did. I said we. The people, African people. Do you know on the continent of Africa what the hold on? Watch this. Let me ask you this. Do you know what the sentiment of homosexuality on the continent?
It's never.
See what I'm saying? You don't let me talk.
Well, I'm trying to close it, but
what is the sentiment of homosexuality for African people in general? Or is that something that we embrace?
In Africa,
I'm asking you, Shaka.
It is not embraced.
Do we? I'm talking about. Do African?
I just answered you, brother. You're not listening to me. I just answered
we do.
It is not embraced in Africa. I said
an African culture, period. An African American culture too.
Yes, but brother, this organization, they have chapters nationwide and in Africa as well. Well,
they also mess with Europeans too. Do you think that
the Hebrew Israelites do as well? The Hebrew Israelites, the Nation of Islam does as well. Farrakhan said they have white members.
So what Pan-African? So answer this, Shaka. What Pan-African group mess with? What Pan-African group do you know that mess with Europeans?
Farrakhan's son is married with a white woman as well.
What Pan-African group do you know that mess with Europeans, that embrace Europeans in their organization? Which one? The one you just showed, huh? That's the only one.
That one, yes. That one, yes.
See, this is what you've been doing. You cherry picking and showing and making the Pan-Africanism look bad.
But brother, you're not part of any Pan-African
We don't mess with them. We don't mess with that group right there. I'm telling you.
Brother. If you can tell me which Pan-African organization you're talking about, then feel free. Because if you want to take it there, which Pan-African organizations say you cannot intermarry? Please tell me. I'm listening.
You said intermarry. What do you mean?
You talked about white people. So which Pan-African organizations say we do not marry white people? I'm listening.
All of them.
Please give me an example.
All of them.
Show me.
What do you mean?
Show me.
ALL. All. And when you get somebody that goes against watch this. When you get somebody that go against the grain and start accepting that, we kick them out. We kick them out when they start going against the grain, Shaka, but you don't know that.
Show me the source.
You asked Shaka to give a name of an organization when he was making a point. Give your name of the Pan-African organization that says what he's asking now. Just the name.
Well, let me just probably
okay. Well, there it is.
We only have 3 real Pan-African organizations. They're not on the continent of America. They're in Africa. And after the African Union, all of those countries, they are against homosexuality. We all know that.
Yeah, I'm not talking about homosexuality. I'm talking about intermarrying, marrying wives. Does the African Unity teach that?
The African Union?
The organization that you just mentioned right now, is it part of their doctrine?
Well, what I'm talking about is the continental thing. The sentiments on Africa is they do not embrace homosexuality, and for the most part, you know that we don't embrace mixed marriage too.
Well, it sounds like you're escaping it, but you know you're making it up, brother. And you know what I propose is that inform yourself about Pan-African.
You're making it up too.
Oh well, I always
you just went and found one organization that deals with homosexuality and put that on the whole Pan-African movement.
This only illustrate y'all need to have this debate on its own, just about Pan-Africanism.
I had it, but every topic is always welcome because you know Pan-African James says something, but he can source up. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, but hold up, you just showed one group out of many groups and said that we accept homosexuality.
Well, brother,
soon as they started to display these type of behaviors,
you're not part of a Pan-African organization.
Yes, I am. What's the name? I don't have to have a card when the only thing you have to do is be black.
No, that's brother.
So you mean y'all think a billion black people gonna have to have a card to have an ideology of black first? We gotta have a card to be black first. That's what we gotta have.
If that's your feeling, I respect that. I would never tell anybody you can't feel.
We ain't never gonna go where we could these the criteria for us to unify. We gotta have cards, degrees, and all this type of stuff.
No, James, listen, but there's distinctions, and I would never question your heart about Pan-Africanism or your feeling of being a Pan-African as a person. But the question is the organization. An organization means organization. It means group operating together for a cause. So that's all Shaka's asking. He's not changing the word organization.
Yeah, now brothers, please, you know, wifey is getting irritated. You know, I had to spend some family time as well, you know. So Babylon Dunn, please feel free to make your closing remarks, and then it's V Bennett, you know.
Okay,
Pan-African James left, you know. It's all about Pan-African James. Go ahead, Babylon Dunn.
Yeah, Brother Shaka, when I came on, I had a lot more to say, so I'm gonna save it because I want to talk to you later. I hope you and Brother James re-enter this conversation because I had a lot of remarks to make on that, and I got interrupted and got to answer another question, and I don't know how that always happens. But the one thing I do want to say regarding that right quick is that I have the Moorish Quran Circle 7, Holy Quran Circle 7. Here is Noble Drew Ali. As I said, Noble Drew Ali formed a temple, right? You can see it there at the bottom. I'm just going to read right quick. It just reads Noble Drew Ali, 1886 AD, 1929 AD, the prophet and founder of the Moorish Science Temple of America to redeem the people of their sinful ways. Now, also on the next page, there's a picture of the Sultan. There's a picture of the Sultan, the former ruler of Mecca, right? The former ruler of Mecca, the Sultan, right? And not only that, though, watch this. It says, the Sultan Abdul Aziz ibn Abd al-Rahman ibn Faisal ibn Tariq, Turkey, right? Turkey, Abd Allah ibn Muhammad al-Saud, born 1880 AD. In Kuwait and died February 23rd, 1953 AD, the descendant of Hagar. We know who Hagar is. She's an Egyptian, formerly the head of the holy city of Mecca. Now, Shaka, I promise you, this is the last thing I want to say because I just want to kill that one little argument. This is it right here. The Prophet Noble Drew Ali's own words. The lessons of this pamphlet are not for sale, but for the sake of humanity. As I am a prophet and the servant is worthy of his hire. You can receive this pamphlet at expense. The reason these lessons have not been known is because the Muslims of India, Egypt, and Palestine had these secrets and kept them back from the outside world. And when the time appointed by Allah, these loosened the keys and freed these secrets. And for the first time in ages, have the secrets been delivered in the hands of the Muslims of America. All authority and rights in publishing of this pamphlet of 1927 by the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, the industrious acts of the Muslims of Northwest and Southwest Africa. These are the Moabites, Hamathites, Canaanites of Northwest, Southwest Africa. So, okay, now I'm done. So now you know it's a temple been established, and it is a lodge. They have secrets, they have degrees, they have lessons, they have everything that a lodge in it, and a temple is a lodge. So let's not play syntactics.
Did they have lodges at the same time the temples were organized?
No, Russian L. No, because otherwise I'm never gonna end it. Please respect that. It's gonna be 12. It's 15 minutes. It's gonna be 12. No, please be diplomatic. We can talk about it some other time. So, Brother V. Bennett, please feel free to make your closing remarks.
No problem.
Yeah, man. I wanted to say, oh yeah, Rashawn, we never got to talk about where we started. It was something I wanted to respond, but I think it was interesting what you brought up, and you know, that's part of life. That's another thing we need to discuss.
See each other again.
Yeah, no doubt, bro. But I appreciate you and everybody else on the panel. Pan-African James, brother. Brother Dunn. What is it? I'm sorry. What's his name again, Shaka?
Babylon Dunn.
Babylon Dunn. I hate saying Babylon, but that's what it is. But Babylon Dunn. But check this out. There's areas where I think what's come up is that there's more of a need for that discussion. And that's a very relevant discussion to Black people. Pan-Africanism. Anything that's supposed to be a solution for our people should be discussed, right? But unfortunately, it's at a center. It's a center theme. You know, it connects with colonialism in Africa, freedom fighters in Africa, their views, their beliefs, and what inspired them, their goals, and it also connects with the diaspora, right? Their issues. I mean, we use it, so it's worth debating. But from what I hear, it sounds like there's an issue with the distinction of the feeling of being a Pan-African individually versus what a Pan-African organization does, right? And so I think the conversation is worth having, man. So I hope y'all have it. I hope we have that and just set it aside on its own. The thing about there's one thing that bothered me is this issue of where the issue came up in whoever online, the issue of homosexuality. Yo, man, I mean, you Black African people are African people. That's the conversation. It's Pan-Africanism. It's not about what type of sex you have. It's not about what you do, who you love, or anything like that. It's about what you're going to do to defend Africa. And that's the thing about it, your rights, your freedoms, you know. Now, I would hope that as an adult, there's a whole lot of things you do that you don't ask nobody about, that no one can clarify, and that no one can show and prove. I can't show and prove what Sinetta do at home. I can't show and prove what any individual does at home, so why even talk about it? You see what I mean? If you look at homosexuality, they're defined as like 6% of the planet population, and you're running it all over the place scared about it? You see what I'm saying? Like, colonialism is not 6% of the population on Earth. It's much greater. So where are your priorities, man? Where your priorities? That's all I'm saying. I mean, you know, there's a lot of shame that comes with homosexuality, just like there's a whole lot of shame that comes with being a victim of molestation, a victim of rape. Everybody's not going to talk about it openly. So, I mean, in regards to just generalizing gayness, yo, just keep it to individuals. If you got a problem with an individual, right, take it to them. If you can't show and prove, then what's the point? You know, I don't see where it connects with unifying to defend Black people and justice with finding historic justice. I don't see the two having anything to do with each other. And it also got something, this is my same look on religion. You could be religious from any religious background. What that got to do with this Pan-African work? I'm not trying to challenge your religion if you want to do this Pan-African work. If you don't want to do this Pan-African work, then of course, all these other things might come into play. But, you know, what does it have to do with it? I follow the Malcolm X words. He said, leave it under your pillow at home so we can get to other business that's material. So on that, I'll say, bless all of y'all, man. Hotep.
Thank you very much, Brother V. Bennett. Well, brothers, thank you. I'm just going to go through some comments and then I will close out. So, that dude, you know, was banned. First, he wrote Chaka, you're coming off like Reggie lately. Peanut King wrote Chaka, nothing like Reggie. Then That guy added, they say Shaka is mad. Garfield would not let him in Dagger Squad. I mean, can anybody even believe that this will be remotely possible that I would ever want to be in Dagger Squad? I mean, that guy is obviously mentally retarded. And no disrespect to people who have some mental health issues. Then he wrote, and Unc kicked him out of Amin Ra Squad. And he wrote Amin Ra Squad, but it's a typo, it happens. And then he asked, is he true, Shaka? Now, they say, that's who? Your baby mama? Only find Mika? Now, I was never kicked out of the Amin Ra Squad. I was never an official member. Unc proposed, he asked me to become a member, and I told him no, because if I commit to something, I would need to be available. I had to get up at 4 a.m. in order to be on the Amin Ra Squad show. Now, that was once a week, and it was on Sunday. So I will make it many times. For about a year, I was there very regularly. You know, I'm not going to say I was here each and every time, but that was 2008. I'm sorry, 2010. 2010, you see, 13 years ago. So I was never kicked out of the Amin Ra Squad. I disassociated myself from it, and Unc apologized. And I have the proof because I always source up what I say. I'm going to share the video. Unc publicly apologized for defending the anti-black and anti-African teaching. You see, so this guy, you know, is just a groupie who just want to talk smack. But the problem is they don't understand those people. It's like when they talk smack, I basically establish the truth. Understand what I'm saying? So here I'm going to share the video so people have it for the record. But these are, you know, this is a female cat crew. They're lames. They're lame. So they come up with weak stuff like that. So I'm going to share the link in the chat. You have to be kidding me. You understand why, you know? So you have the link in the. I don't even need to show you the link in the chat. It is there. And here for the record, see that video? It says, Ong from the Amen Ra squad apologizes to Shaka Ndugu Kemet. And that was 5 years ago that I've uploaded it. You see, it has 313 views. You see, and I accepted his apology, and we've been cool. We've been cool ever since. But then lately he decided to change. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So let me continue going through the comments. If you're not selective, you spend your lifetime just dealing with false statements. But amazingly, you didn't see that Yoda dude, you know, talking about the pedophiles. People sleep with babies, you know, and it's been like that for years. They feel strong when there's many people, you know. So if among those many people you have some child molesters, they're not going to talk about it because they want to feel secure and strong with many people. That's their concept of being powerful. It's like if there's many people, then it's cool. So let me continue going through the comments. Of course, I will skip a few because I really tried to wrap this up. So even Wabfong told him to get the F out of here. Amikar, thank you for that super chat. Anybody can make a super chat when I'm live streaming. Even if the chat is for supporters only, everybody can send a super chat or super sticker. And I've also shared my Cash App and my PayPal. They are both here, you know. So, hey, everybody's free. They can defend the rapists, the pedophiles, or they can defend the real brothers, real recognized real. Now, even Pinnick King was asking him who want to be with scammers and pedos. You see? Then he wrote that he's here for the truth. He's here to cheerlead, that's all. But, you know, can't go somewhere else. Now, Penny King wrote to Mika never show her face, so you know what's up. Well, there's a face that we see. I think it is hers because on her Facebook, there's several pictures of her, including that picture where she showed the OnlyFans. And she said she was tired of being broke or tired of being poor. Now, Damasa wrote, addressing yada bad information you have must not be used in the force. We had a Mika groupie, you know. Damasa wrote Agent Yada in the house. Peter King wrote receipts out this clown all mouth. Jedi University. See, that master wrote addressing Yada that he needs to get his money back from the Jedi University. And he added, what difference does it make why he's not with them anymore? Shaka doesn't need to roll with kiddie cults. He has his own mission. Rashun L wrote that super pseudo nostrils are wider for intake of air in hot, dry desert. Obviously, he was addressing Farrakhan's anti-black speech. Secret Infinite came. She said that it's time for her to go to bed. Peanut King wrote, real men stand up and not yes men. Peanut King wrote, Garfield got his degree from out of the cereal box. Fear Minor came in the place to be. Damasa wrote, said he is a good brother and he keeps me laughing. Yoda wrote, I will debate your guest on Islam. Man, you will not even show your face. Who you going to debate? Not here, please. Okay, hold on. Donnie Williams wrote, funny how people just want to debate out of the blue instead of arising organically from decent conversation. Some people are trying to, they're looking for a come up. They want to be put on, you know. Most African countries are using European textbook. They don't know much about African history, unfortunately. Wab Funk wrote, no, James, there is cultural movements and think tanks. True. I don't know any in America, but they do exist globally. Mentuson wrote, I make Sanetta logos. He is definitely a Pan-African. Well, you know, let's ask him. You know, a lot of people speak for other people, you know. Wab Funk wrote, Pan-Africanism is very much a mindset as well. But that's the thing. Some people, they claim they are Pan-Africans like a badge of honor. And the same people who say they are Pan-African say, oh yeah, I'm Pan-African. Like Khalil Abdul Muhammad said, he said, I claim more. And I think he said, I claim Israelite as well, you know. But people can just go and check it. You know what I'm saying? You cannot be everything under the sun. So I'm scrolling through a few comments. Amika wrote, Shaka, don't allow him to overtalk you on your show. Phil Mo says that he is Pan-African. Which Pan-African organization are you part of? We go to the stream. What doesn't he show? It's Phil Moore. Phil Minor. Normally he should he doesn't oversee. Well, never mind. I think he can hear me. Here Hustle Banks wrote, anybody can declare their Pan-Africanism. Yes, anybody. Anybody. Here Wab Funk wrote, EFF is a Pan-Africanist movement that is continental and now global, nothing to do with religion. You see? Right, and anyone can have a logo. Fiamana said that I'm taking some bad apples trying to put them in the bunch. Bad take, Shaka. I'm sorry. It's not difficult. They haven't said anything about those guys having sex with 9-year-old girls, 10-year-old girls, 11, 12, 13. And silence is a form of consent. They haven't said anything about Farrakhan's anti-black speech. It's not difficult. And I know for all these years you have those groups and they present that person as a master teacher and everybody should agree and nobody should question anything. So they have some people raping babies, raping women, torturing women, teaching that we are black. I'm sorry, that we are that our blackness is the essence of ugliness, that black people are marked, disfigured, and it's cool. And the minute you don't fall for the okie doke, the minute you don't follow that trend or that bandwagon, then they look at you as the bad guy. And I'm used to that. But as time goes, people can see because now we can show and prove quickly. Can you imagine back then? I was there, the live streams did not exist, you know, but now we can show directly. We can play the audio, the video, we can show the text. It's a new day now. You know, it's a new day. So Film Minor wrote, now you're talking like a French black. All right, okay. But I guess if I'm cool with rapists and pedophiles, I'm talking like what? An African American black? Like African American is better than being French black? I mean, this set tripping is not cool, brother. Babylon Don wrote, Malcolm X was for Pan-Arabianism. Um, yes, they do praise Mecca and Saudi Arabia in the lessons. The Nation of Islam and most likely five percenters, NGE, Nation of Gods and Earth, in their lessons of 120, the Supreme Wisdom, it says that Arabia is the root, the root of civilization is in the Arabian desert. And it says that the only holy spot on the planet Earth is Mecca. And some Pan-Africans going to come with those ideas. Then they're also going to say they are African centered, I guess. African centered means centered around Africa. You're probably more familiar with the term Afrocentric, you know. And then you have the female cat Garfield and his crew who talks about or Egyptomaniacs or blackologists, please. Bob Funk wrote, as far as I know, Pan-Africanism is devoid of religion when it comes to matters of the continent. Yes, Sekou is a Pan-African, yes. But I'm sure if we ask Sekou his stance on the pedophiles, he will be quick to answer that he's not down with them. But Sekou is free to give us his take. Whatever organization he's part of, I would like to have a statement, an official statement regarding the people who teach that it's okay to have sex with a 9-year-old girl or any age as long as she has her menses or flowers, and also about Farrakhan's anti-black speech. Now, Wild Funk wrote, Pan-Africanism is a mindset. It can be a mindset, like some people say, I'm part of the conscious community, but I'm focused on the Pan-African organization. There's a difference because that exists, and that's one of them here. Now, you see, the Uhuru movement founded by Omali Yeshitela, I don't think we can say it's a Pan-African party because I think actually, I forgot which brother I was talking with, and I think Pan-African Gens was on the platform, but somebody said that they don't call themselves Pan-African. So I went to a few of their websites because they have many, and indeed we did not see any mention of Pan-Africanism. So they are a socialist movement. They are a black organization, but they don't describe themselves as Pan-African. And I think it makes sense that they don't. I think they did not want to be confused with people who are cool, rapists and pedophiles, Men to Son wrote, NBPP are not Muslims. Are you joking? Men to Son? Khalid Abdul Hamid was a Muslim. Malik Zul Shabazz is a Muslim. He was a leader. I don't know about Hashim Zinga. And there are Muslims, who are members of the New Black Panther Party. So I don't know where you get that from. Now, BPP is not NBPP. BPP stands for Black Panther Party. Amilcar wrote, Shaka schooling him on American history, priceless. Pan-Africanism is political, not religious. Well, you heard the people who say, well, Pan-Africans, they are not Muslims, they are not Christians, I don't agree with that, but we talk, that's what we do, we talk. Sometimes you talk with your brothers and you don't share the same opinion and they react differently. And they might be mad at you for a while, it might go away, and if it doesn't go away, just stand on truth, stand on principles, and then, it's all good, We had Andrea Brunet in the place to be. So Wab Funk once again saying that Pan-Africans come in all religions. Wab Funk wrote, so yes, Pan-Africanism is all-inclusive. Pedophilia is not legal, so it must be condemned. I agree that it must be condemned. Wab Funk wrote, James is somehow obsessed with religion and Pan-Africanism exist in the same room. Once again, Khalid Abdul Muhammad said that he'd been to Mecca 8 times. So why would he go 8 times if there was such racism or if he was no longer a Muslim? Wab Funk wrote, if I'm not mistaken, Khalid died a Muslim. He added a Black Panther and a Moor and a Pan-African. Wab Funk wrote, Khalid was simply embracing Pan-Africanism. That is not that hard to grasp. Oh, Mentuson said that he was a graphic editor for that book, the Book of Khalid. And here, this is Ashwa Kwezi. They were good friends. I mean, they were friends, you know. They were friends. In one of the DVDs of Ashwa Kwezi says that a picture that he got from Israel was taken by Khalid Abdul Muhammad, So no wonder he knew about Kemet, the Book of Khalid, written by Malik Zulu Shabazz. Wab Funk wrote, but trust me, there are Pan-Africanists, maybe he meant to write plenty, Pan-Africanists who have or follow an Abrahamic religion. But here is a more corrected version. Wab Funk wrote that Garvey died a staunch Catholic. I heard that Marcus Garvey was Christian. A lot of people say that, Marcus Garvey was Christian, as if it's a justification or a motive for us, following in that path. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we live and we learn. People talk about the 70s, the 60s. I mean, man, what have we learned in 40 years, 50 years? Come on, man. So Garvey was both a Catholic and a Pan-African. Garvey died staunch Catholic, bro. Garvey was both. Okay, that's the same thing. Hussein Ma'at Ra Setep and Ra. And that's about the end. So Wab Funk says that Drew Ali was poisoned in jail. Well, he was poisoned, then he died in jail. He also added most Pan-Africans have a core religious belief that is usually Abrahamic. Mentusan wrote, Uhuru movement is a laughing stock of the community. I wouldn't say so. They have chapters in several states and several countries. They are doing their thing. You see, I don't agree with everything they say or do, but I never heard them teaching that black people are marked, disfigured. I never heard them being cool rapists and pedophiles, saying that's my brother. You know what I'm saying? Don't get into his personal, private life. We all make mistakes. Malcolm X did some stuff when he was young. I heard it all over the years, man. Are you perfect? Oh, you talk like a white dude. Like you agree, we disagree with rapists and pedophiles. All right, you talk like a French black. You're talking like the French. Come on, man. Why don't you spend this energy condemning the rapist and the pedophile? Period. But I know why. It's a philosophy of numbers. Well, Funk wrote, good chat, peace, panel, and chat. Thanks, Shaka. Mentuson wrote, they've been compromised. I don't know who he was talking about. Wab Funk wrote, James is just a Pan-Africanist. James is just a Pan-Africanist that's not part of a Pan-African organization. Simple. And finally, Babylon Dawn has become a member again. And you are all welcome to become members or supporters of the channel. V. Bennett wrote, I got 3 videos about how stupid Uhuru movement are. Lol. Well, it is what it is, but it's a movement. It is an organization with registered members, And a lot of people in the conscious community don't really deal with that, with actual movement that are on the ground, that are doing things. Like Brother Born FOG, he's on the ground, in the community doing things, not just online. I was part of some movement. We used to meet physically. We used to learn the Mother Nature. We used to learn the Swahili. We used to talk about common events. We used to, eat together, talk, spend hours together. A lot of people don't know what it is. They're just used to the online stuff, and they want to remain comfortable with the online stuff. But the Hebrew Israelites, the black Christians, the black Muslims, the black Moors, those guys meet in person. They have places where they meet, you see. So, brothers and sisters, beware of people who are anonymous, unidentified, and they really want to deter you from becoming effective. And most of the time it's because of their religious affiliation, Mentor's son is asking, do you consider yourself race first? Well, for a long time I've been saying, I'm pro-black, which means pro-self. What else could I say? I remember when Sanetta would go on the street and say, is the white man the devil? Do you believe the white man is the devil? And whenever people would not say yes, he would give them a hard time. But after Sanetta got a lot of adversity with so many people, black people, he stopped saying that. That's a doctrine. You don't have to adopt somebody else's doctrine, So Mentor Sonny said, do you agree with Africa for Africans? I mean, who disagrees with that? You know what I'm saying? I mean, just, before I finish with the last stream, just get to the point or get on the panel. I don't know, maybe you're trying to imply something about me. Just feel free. Feel free. I see you have the red, black, and green. I have the red, black, and green flag. When I went to the Notting Hill Carnival, London, England, I went there waving the flag, in the carnival. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't just online. I've been to the museums. I know what I represent, So if anybody wants to imply anything, then feel free. Feel free. Just because I disagree with Pan-Africans or Pan-African organization doesn't mean that I am against them. Then I want them to fail. I just want some house cleaning. And for years I've been hearing, oh yeah, this guy is touching on babies, but he says some nice stuff. And what did Dale Jones say about the founder of Kwanzaa?
We haven't brought closure to Karinga. We let him build a holiday. The same one who set up Black Panthers in ambushes at UCLA and other places. The same one who tortured his wife and another woman brutally, sticking bottles in their vagina, using electrical shocks, and the FBI saved him.
The majority of people who celebrate Kwanzaa, aren't they Pan-Africans? Now, on one hand, you have some Pan-Africans who think that there's no Christian, Muslims, and Jews within Pan-Africanism or within Pan-African organizations. On the other hand, there's others who know that's not the case. But Kwanzaa is a plagiarism of the Jewish holiday Hanukkah. So all those guys are going to say the Abrahamic belief system are not for us, but yet they're going to celebrate a Hebraic or Hebrew or Judaic celebration, So, let's be fair with one another, Yeah, no problem. I'm just asking. You never know. Now Shabaka wrote, "Why do you ignore my comments?" Okay, I said that I will skip a few. I've been live streaming for 3 hours 35. It is actually, what time is it now? It is 12:13 now. I'm in France for those who don't know. So Shabaka, if you're quick with it, please just make a statement that you think is important, or a question that you think is important. I mean, you can even get on the panel, but I prefer you just put it in the chat because otherwise we will never end. And I really want to end this live stream. I went through all the comments now. So, okay. Pan-Africanism, take the positive side of Islam and Christianity. All right, well, there we go. There we go. That's your statement. And, I don't have any issue with that statement, So, brothers, thank you very much for being there. Sometimes we will disagree, brothers, Now, Mentuson wrote that he banged on Kwanzaa every Black Christmas. Well, he wrote, I bang on that every Black Xmas, which stands for Christmas, obviously, law. You know what I'm saying? But many people, they defend Kwanzaa tooth and nail. You know what I'm saying? So, and in France, once again, I know the names of the people, but like I said, Molefe Sante's organization gave a trophy to a serial rapist, and the Pan-African organization, several of them, they are cool with a known professor pedophile. The girl was like 8 years old, if not younger, and that's disgusting to me. And I see the same thing in America. So I'm like, man, I'm not asking you to arrest those guys. I'm not asking you to fight and sort them. You know what I'm saying? But at least can we be grown men and say, okay, no, I'm not cool with that. You know what I'm saying? It's not too much ask, because if we continue like this, then other people who love to rape women and children, then what they're gonna do? They're gonna join those conscious community Pan-African movements, because they know it's a race heaven for rapists and pedophiles. You know what I'm saying? But if they know, hey, we're cool with that, no, that doesn't fly here, then they're gonna go elsewhere. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, we're gonna disagree on some points. That's life. That's how it is. You see. I'm cool with the red, black, and green, brother. I'm cool with it. Like I said, I've read that. Even my logo, my website. Let me show. You see, now I have a different layout, but which yeah, here. Look at the logo of my website. You see that? I don't have an issue with the red, black, and green, but we have to know specifically what we are talking about. A lot of people are romanticizing, some of our scholars or elders. I mean, they're basically putting words in their mouth. In the same breath, the people who come out and say things like this.
I don't believe in old Egyptian gods. I don't believe in that stuff. I wasn't even taught that bullshit, right? I'm the one who bangs against the Kemetics. I bang against them, and they can't get through me, because the gods that they worship, right, were born from another group of thinking, right? So you can't come with me with no goddamn Heru or no other that bullshit. Show it to me in the primary, show it to me in writing, show it to me in the period. You're making the bullshit up.
You don't have anything to say about that. Those are the elders. So stay safe, stay healthy. If I'm allowed to by the Necheru, I will holler back at you. I don't argue, I state facts. If you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. Do I do a Necheru? Hotep.
Now, for the record, for those who don't know, I'm giving Medu Nature classes. And here, that's the flyer. Okay? So, those who are interested, feel free to holler at me. If you're not interested, it's cool. But I recommend that everybody who has not yet seen the video, Kemet and Ma'at, Before Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, then watch it. It has about 300,000 views and really deserves to have a lot more.
I just want to let everyone know who's listening in now and who's going to listen to this stream in the future. I just had my first Meta Nature class by Brother Shaka today, and I've had other Meta Nature lessons by other teachers, and I can tell you right now, the brother is the best in the game. He is that was one of the best classes I've ever had, ever. So if you're interested in learning the Meta Nature, if you're interested in getting the basics of it, Brother Shaka is an awesome teacher. Get with him, and it's extremely affordable. This brother is giving us his time and his skills, and he's basically giving it away. I mean, I just consider it a donation. You know what I'm saying? So if anybody is interested in learning the Meta Nature, get with this brother right here. He's an awesome, awesome, awesome teacher. And I'll end with that.
Hotep Senu, Hena Senut. This is Julie, also known as Servant of Yah, and I'm currently taking the Medu Neture classes with Brother Shaka, and it has been an amazing experience. Only 2 lessons so far, and I feel like I've been taking the classes for months, just with the how in depth he goes into the vocabulary words, the construction of the language, the grammar. It's been immeasurable, the experience. And one thing that comes across, hands down, is his extreme passion for teaching this to anyone who is willing to learn and has an interest in learning. So I highly suggest, if you are interested, even a minimal interest, that you subscribe to the classes with Brother Shaka. It's such a nominal amount for how much you get. I know, like, our last class was over 2.5 hours. It felt like 2 minutes, but because that's how, involved you are in what he's teaching and how he teaches and how compassionate he is about what he teaches. Also with sharing materials free of charge, no question, no doubt. It's just what he does. He doesn't have to, but he does. And so I just wanted to give a short testimonial about the class and the effectiveness of the class, and all of that is attested to how studied Brother Shaka is. So I highly recommend anyone with a minimal interest that you do sign up for the Medu Netia class. Hotep.
Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, which is Ma'at Forever. Don't forget to watch the video entitled Kemet and Ma'at. Don't forget to share Kemet and Ma'at on my channel on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, or other social media that you use. Email, text messages, you name it. Those who wish to donate can do so on paypal.me/Ma'at Forever.